to do. So just start streaming, because that's it. There's nothing else that I'm doing. Just me and my stream journey. So that's the best thing. Let me put a noise gate there. It's perfect. So we are on with this shit. It looks good. I have to stay like in the middle of the frame. You can even stay at the corner. But it looks like I'm squeezed. I don't want that. So this setup needs to go back a bit. Let me try that here. That's a 3D one, right? Everything there is perfect, perfect, perfect. As it should be. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't even have the topic for the stream. But let me try to put it. Let me first finish setting up the stream. Bear with me, bear with me. Right. Bear with me. Bear with motherfucking me. Here. Another stream is live. And the stream went live earlier than this. So this one is good. Let me type something to see if it's working. Yeah. And typed it there. Let's see now. Just place this one here. I don't want it to affect my view or anything. So a bit like that. Which side will it get perfectly? You're disturbing me. Bear with me. Again, I have to say that. Bear with me. Bear with me. Perfect. Now I go and check it on my channel if it's live. Yeah, so I don't know like what the topic of today is, but again we have AI, so that's what I'm going to do. Go live. Yeah, I'm live. I just saw that one video that I posted some hours ago. Oh, it was a day ago. Yeah, like the one that says just woke up at sunset, right? That one. Perfect. Because yeah, that story was amazing. Like, yeah. That's the echo from my previous video. So I need to see, is it lagging or what am I seeing here on my YouTube channel? Let me come here, copy that. Is it as the pop-out chart there? Now the chart is perfect. Come back here. Take this one. Remove that one. And remove that. Hey, what is this? This one there. Take this one, put it there. Now I can type something here. This is me for the second time. This is stream number, I think, 8, 9, 7. I don't know. Don't just woke up. So much energy. Just woke up. Ate a quick snack. Of course, right? Of course, yeah. Drank up some coffee, and I'm probably going to do one right this moment. But let me put some coffee up first. Before anything else, the coffee, everything is good. First, set this thing up. I have to make that coffee right now before this thing starts up and I start acting up because oh, that's the microwave or the coffee maker. It depends. For me, it's my coffee maker, not the microwave. And this setup was actually one of the best recommendations for me to do because like I wanted good framing while still like being able like this is where I should be sitting at so that I can look at it this way, right? Yeah, it looks good that way. So even if I try to talk to you or shout right now, you won't be able to hear me clearly because of that machine that is making noise. So just wait for it to end. But before it ends now, you know what you have to do? You're going to put some music in there before it finishes. Probably is going to finish 3 minutes. Probably 2 right now. Probably 1. Oh, you guys are seeing my chat. Yeah. Come here. Maybe remake it to the best. What? To the best of my ability. Is it supposed to be? What? Bear with me. That noise. think it's about to end right this moment, right? Perfect. La perfecto. Let me just put the window here first before anything else. Yeah. You see that? Probably won't need that on right now. That's where we are heading to. So I take this and first pour my coffee in, set everything up so that we can start. So right now we are on. The outcome. What? What the hell is on? We left a little on you did it for the last time. Man, you used to be like a family enemy baby. And then we go laugh, play around. Remember? How much is the coffee maker? But I don't have to struggle this much. Need a coffee maker now. It's too much. Struggling. Right? Let me just Google how much is a coffee maker first. What is the price of a coffee motherfucking maker? Right? Ouch. Perfect. The shit is perfectly there. That's how the setup should be. It looks good. I need a coffee maker right this moment. No sugar, no nothing. That's the bitter shit. Bitter coffee. Bitter than my last relationship. Let me see how much a coffee maker is. What? Yeah, that setup is good now. Just put this one here. What's wrong with this? Let me. Where is. Let's Chrome. Let's go here into the Chrome. Let's see how much it costs in Kenyan shillings. Tons. 5 G's is not much. Okay. Oof. Look at this big one here. Gonna add cappuccino maker, 16,950. Gonna have two places, 20,000 coffee maker. Is it for a restaurant or what? But that one, that's the perfect one now for me, right? 20 G's. Price is from 4,100 to 21,000. That shit is crazy. So now that's the perfect price. Probably around 5 G's, 5 to 6,000 looks the perfect one. But you see, you can get it like from as low as 4,000. And how much is a washing machine? Single and twin tab, top load washing, front loading washing machine. I don't know what that one means because I don't have one for my own. I see people having them, but for me, it's the mama fua who comes and knocks. Hey, what is in there for me today? I'm like, today I was not around, but check in next week. See, I have your number. Yeah, I will communicate. I heard you called me. You said that you have something. Yeah, come get up here. Go to the balcony. Go and do your shit. I mean, you see, that's my view now. And I'm only saying that because you can only look at it. They're both people. You can tell them, okay, go to the laundry place. But if you have a washing machine, it's crazy. What is the meaning of front wash plus dryer, right? Wash, front load plus dryer. Twin turbo washer plus air dryer. Let me look at that. 37,000. I mean, it's good compared to like when you are paying for Mama Fua every day for like 30. Look at this. This shit is 89,000. Almost 90. The washing machine. Front load, fully automatic, 10 kg washer, 7 kg dryer. That's good. But now after that, now you have to take it and go and still like places so that it can't be hit by like the direct sunlight. That's it. Yeah, that's good. These are fans, fridges, no frost. Let me look at the fridge that has no frost. 111,000 Kenyan shillings. That's like 537 liters. And others are 16, 72 sheer. This is you like setting up this whole thing. Now it's yours. Investing in your space now. Because like the fridge, it keeps this, and that. This one you can't get it like if you have troubles with paying the tokens. You must afford the money first for the tokens so that these other things cannot bother you. Now you go to all these things, cookers. Let me look at the cookers too. Tabletop, standing, of course, standing, electric oven, yes, cookers. This one is around 80,000. 4 gas plus 2 electric. 90 times 60 silver, as the dimension cooker. Okay, that's pretty fair. Right? I love the idea of it. That's me. I love the idea of it. I like researching these things because, again, they can buy them because this is nothing. Right now, I have nothing. I don't even own this cup. I own nothing. This cup is not even mine, right? But I can access it. I can access it though, right? That's the biggest thing that you can do right now. If you can like access these things everywhere you go, that's it. Even the vacuum cleaners, irons, wind scales, hair dryer. The grooming appliances is only hair dryer. What about the shaver for men? But see, these things must be trimmed at least every day, or at least every 2 to 3 days. You trim them. Here, take this, trim that. Here, take this other one, trim that. Blenders and shit. I'm gonna say blenders. Also like grills, microwave grills, water dispensers, all those things. You just have them like for it being there. Let me look at this. Freestanding water dispenser. And also people like they're buying for these things. Look at their aesthetics too for your house. Mostly nowadays they even come with like something that looks like a screen or something. So now they have literally modernized it to fit your aesthetics that you want it to do. Right? It's like the dispensers and shit. You can look at very many things here. Those are the coffee makers again, 16 to 20. These are like things that you just throw down, like the spices. You know when you're getting your shit together, right? Or they even subwoofers. Look at these. These things used to amaze me. But nowadays, once I have them, because I have one here, it's just the normal top is one of the speakers right here. You see, this is one of the speakers. It's a three speaker shit. So I have them there, but I barely use them nowadays, unless the enjoyment people try to come into my house, just blast it, and now the whole place looks. It sounds good too. It depends, like, on what you want to achieve with them. But now, me, I just do that. And now, once you progress, now you get sound bars, right? I mean, listen even to the sound of it because sound bars, something that you don't get like just there. This website is for ram It also has like free shipping and everything. That's good. Tall boy speakers. What are these? Mm. Oh, the one that's stand like at the corner of the room. And now here I have repair drop off points. What are these? Oh, oh, the repairs people and shit. Yeah, these are the sites that you like publish or preach your business or advertise them. Just become an affiliate and they'll accept you. But I don't know how it works. That's just the basics that I know. If or you can like partner them here, right? Be a partner in them. These are the main things that they do right now. I can even like come here to the grooming section. Right, let me see if the male sheet. Oh, they only have one dryer. That's good. This black hair dry. Dry hair 3001. The ones I see at salons and shit. Where like the bitches go to gossip and shit and they're getting their hair done. You may grew up around women who need to groom their hair. I don't know. So nowadays the craziest thing that I can say like to a lady is like just know basic grooming, right? If like you can fix your hair in a way that shit looks good to us, right? To us I mean like to males, enjoy that shit. You know, a lady fixing his shit. Like he's just there, with like his hair and shit. And he just twists it and makes it the best that he wants it to be. It's the she. Shit. And even now men nowadays like know how to fix them. And I'm like, yeah, you're a lady there and you don't even know how to fix hair. You don't even know how to fix your hair. What am I doing with this screen? Let me first scale it to fit. This is my webcam here and transform fit to screen. Perfect. Now it's all centered to the grid as it's supposed to, of course. Yeah. So I just need this one to be a quick session here because I have nothing else to say. I have no say, I have nothing else. Just me and the fucking camera forever because I've seen myself like depending on someone who's a bit crazy, it doesn't matter what it is because right now I set up the camera myself, the sound, everything, the lighting, like the whole. Does this shit look bent? It's like this. Wait, if it's like this is the part that needs raising. This part is this. Oh, it's inverted because this is my left hand. This is my right hand. The right is close to the wall. Right? The right is here. This is the fucking camera. And the setup is good. That's why I say even if the setup is bent, I can like put it in a way that makes sense to me and only me, right? Hey, today everything is matching. Look at the handkerchief here. Look at these. Look at the walls. Look at the black. Mm. Look at the skin color matches the table, top and bottom. Everything. The reddish here matches the Rubik's Cube back here. Right? Okay. As I'm saying, I said this whole thing now. No, I no longer depend on anyone. And you know, this is forever now. Oh, yeah, this is what I was looking for that time. I have like, it's a bit better, but who cares? I have like two of them now. So it's like, this thing, now this is a skill that can't be taken forever from me. I know how to edit my own audio, on videos. No, and nowadays with AI, like you don't even need to learn any of that. You just need to be there, and that's it. It doesn't matter. Right now, the craziest skill that you can learn is nothing. Just learn how to use a computer. Learn how to speak. Don't worry about using that. People will be there. People who have learned it. They will come. You will employ them, right? If you are good at speech, you'll come. Bring the microphones and shit. Set up the whole project for you. You are the best in speaking, right? They'll come. They deliver everything. Their skills. You'll see them. Actually, what I was supposed to say? Actively, no. Lively, no. I don't know. Nobody gives a shit. Yeah. It's the coffee that is bothering me. You see that black coffee and shit. Black as fuck. Blacker than me. Or I call it dark. Dark coffee, yeah. Makes it, see even this speaker here. Down here. Right. It wasn't supposed to look that good. I needed to camouflage in a way. So yeah, if you need to camouflage, you have to set it up nicely too. You see this? The best thing that you can have, like if you are in this business, is cable management. Because I don't need to worry like moving my legs because cables are everywhere, here. No, it's just me. So now, you see, you don't know where I put that because I set up my system so good that I don't actually need anything right now. So I don't even know. I've come to realize right now, like the stories that are getting pushed like on the internet, and actually telling you, hey, this is now what you need to worry about. It's actually all weakness. If you really want to get deeper, like into the real internet now, not the cloud shit or the agenda that right now they're trying to push. No, just get into like the real internet. You not even worry about that you're doing scrolling or anything because you're actively learning things. Leave alone the gossips and news because those ones will always be there and they don't affect you anyhow. But knowledge, it affects you, right? Because it boosts up your mind in a way, gives you a closer understanding of what actually this whole thing is. And what I can say is that's mind blowing. Because right now, why you are worrying about doom scrolling is because like what you are looking at is actually bullshit and nonsense and everything. But now, if you like get deeper into it, oof, oh, one of the best, right? Best of the best things right now that you can do. Yeah, as I was saying, like I like to call it you trying like to influence an outcome, but still you can't because there's someone who told you like this is the outcome already. So if you try or dare to influence it, they're coming for you. Which is how I see it right now. I'm looking at the internet, I'm like, shit. So you guys have actually allowed women like to have a say in your life. Like I'm talking about the men now, right here, right? So I know that one probably the women are now probably complaining because how dare you say that? The women I'm talking about, the guys, right? Yeah, who are complaining because you are a bitch. Why are you bitchy? I mean, if you want, you can come for me, but how? Will you reach me? Or will you just get tangled by your bitch when you're coming, right? Hey, what are you going to do? And now you fear. It makes no sense, but what you think of it? The biggest advantage you can have right now is just you being you, right? Yeah, because if I see somebody mad on the internet, like this whole thing that you never created, you just bought a gadget, or probably the gadget was presented to you, and now you get mad over something that you never created. And now you see people actually utilizing it. I mean, it's a bit crazy, but who am I to judge? Who am I to say anything about your life? Like you just move on every single day. That's how it is. That's the basic. That's the only thing that you can do right now is to just move on every single day. You see this hoodie? This hoodie was just gifted by someone, and I don't know them. Like knowing them, I mean, like I don't actually have full background or anything about their life ever. Like just hey, we're just talking, and I'm like, you guy, you look. I don't even know the word that they use. Like you look like somebody who does what, and then I'm like. Because you know me, I'm always in the moment, right? If I'm talking to you, even when I meet people in person, which I've met so many people, some I even don't even bother getting their number. Some even ask me for my number. They just look for a way. It's not that they're going to come direct. Hey, give me your number. No. Hey, this is what you do. I like that idea. I like that topic. I like your view. Give me your number. Probably if I need to come back to you or if I need to reach to you, I'll call you. I'm like, okay, take my number. And then they text. They never text, right? Again, now I come back. It's like a month, 2, 3 months later, they're like, hey, you remember me? Is this guy we met here? I'm like, oh, that guy who had this problem, this and I was like, yeah, like, are you willing? Like, where are you? Like, are you around? Or can we meet this place? I'm like, course. And then we go, we meet. We just normal thing. That's my life now. Like that's one thing you don't need to hear from a stranger because it's like how do you capture this whole moment? Like you take us like step by step, giving us like the picture form of everything that happens. But still, you're just being you still, right? Like I'm saying, whatever you see on the internet, that's the life right now. That's the real life of the person that you're living. Always if you see fakeness, that's it. What do you expect? If you see them insulting, if you see them playful, if you see them serious, but nobody is actually serious. If you see people that just living, that's living. Like, don't even try to understand more of that person's life because now that's where you get lost, right? I mean, you have this whole thing here that is actually being or presented actually into you like onto you like on a plate, right? They call it a silver plate or platter. I don't know. A platter is like the food thing, right? That when you see like people eating, what's the name of that guy? Bobina, right? She finishes a platter by herself. I'm like, perfect. Like that's what now we need to know. That's what we need to see now on the internet. Now you don't want to go and tap into private or personal life of that guy and be like, okay, you have a family, okay, like what tribe are you? No, no, you don't need that. This is the internet. What has she provided on the internet? This is the foodie. That's what they call themselves. Foodie. These are crazy names, right? Foodie, they can call themselves this. That's their life now. You don't need to worry anything about that, right? Just know her for what she has provided. Don't look within. But you see, all these people have because that's the problem of like staying with mamas every time. Because mamas will like they will want to see like what we are doing in the moment. I'm like, you don't know me, bro. Like, just chill first. You don't know me like that. For me to share like my personal life. Okay, this is where I was. This is what I've read. This is what I'm going. No, unless I actually need something from you right now, and then you are questioning like, okay, what did you see this thing? Okay, what place is it? Okay, what's the item? And again, we're not talking about my personal life. If let's say, which I barely do right now, if I ask you like for money, I'm like, okay, you need money. What for? That's understandable. Like, I tell you, I want to buy this. You're like, okay, how much is it? No, don't be like, wait, you want to buy that? You mean you have not? Take an example of clothes, like of this thing that I was told you I was gifted. Wait, you mean you have no clothes? No, like this is what I say. Just say no or yes. End of story. But you're not trying like to get into like my emotion and try to manipulate it. It's like an ignition key, right? You put it into the car, which nowadays like they don't even exist. Nowadays it's push button, right? So yeah, just push the option of no. And and as I was saying, like if you have the leverage or the opportunity like to do these things live, like just stream everything right now. That's the best thing you can do because when you're streaming, like even you are RAM, you don't even need to worry about RAM because the software is actually store everything that you have streamed. Good thing because now like platforms have put like a certain threshold that you can start doing with them before you actually start streaming. But that one should not like be your hold back because right now I for this channel because this video I'm streaming it on YouTube directly. I have close to zero subs and I'm streaming every day. Every day. I just needed like to get a laptop so that I can get this software on. And the phone that I'm using there is the camera. So you don't see me with no phone. But it's also like dopamine. Like it reduces what? What I was supposed to say? Like it acts as a dopamine detox to my brain. Because I don't actually have constant like chatting on. But what I see right now is like you get like to see yourself so much on the phone or on videos that even like phone fright or camera fright or camera shy, what you guys call it. It's even reduced because you're used to seeing yourself that way. And it even makes a lot of sense because now you can at least start enjoying life. You can see the bigger picture of it. But one thing is that when I was starting, the thing that used to like trouble me the most was actually me coming up with what is it called? Like me going and replaying back my videos. Then I spend so much time there judging myself. Actually, like in the moment, I'm like, shit, why did I say that? And then I play back my shit. Then I look at my reaction, and then I hear my voice. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Who is this guy? But now, in the moment, like in the process too, like you continue learning some skills, like editing skills, right? If you want, like if your videos are talking head and like you are teaching a subject, you can put like a B-roll on it so that like when you are talking, it doesn't actually affect you much. These are the craziest things that you do now. Look at that video. The video now just ended like crazy here. Be fast. Turn the camera on, the flashlight, I mean, because I don't know what it's doing. It's the basics, right? These are the things that you deal with every day. So these things also builds you character because you're like, shit. So you mean my video like just ended? I can't see myself. Okay, what am I going to do now? You readjust it, and after that, the system actually like gave you a new concept to talk about or speak about. So as I'm saying, you can never lack anything to do. Just put on the camera, speak anything. It doesn't matter. Because remember, other platforms might actually uh, recommend, they might reward like good content, but always YouTube rewards consistency, right? Bulk. It's the bulk because when you are doing it consistently, the algorithm itself, like you become part of it. Now you have like your whole section of like you've created your house, but with one video you can't create your whole movement or community. But let's say like 100 videos, you have a whole community there. With 100 videos, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about long form because right now long form is the thing, right? So now, with that, now it creates you like a whole universe for yourself and yourself alone. So now, you can talk about anything. Give us your childhood stories. We want to know that. We want to hear them, right? Yeah, because right now I like remember the first time going to swim. Bro, I drank water like crazy. That time I even got full. I didn't eat for like a day or some hours. Yeah, they are lying. Of course, I have eaten sometimes. Because if I'm hungry, it doesn't matter. It's just water, which was full of chlorine and shit, and people's piss, of course. Because that was my first time learning how to swim, so it was crazy. And you know, I was rescued by one of my closest buddies by that time because we had gone to swim with them. Then they're like, "Oh shit, this guy doesn't know." And I told them like, "I don't know how to do it." They told me, "No, get into the deep end, bro." Sometimes you know there were rails like on the swimming pool, right? The water reaches somewhere. Like, let's use this as a reference. The water reaches here, or rather the wall, right? The wall is here, and the rail is actually put here, just um, some meters down, inches or centimeters. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Like something like okay, like this handful, the palm of your hand, right? Is the reason that they give you before the rail is there because the rail can't be fully submerged into the water, otherwise it might rust. But they don't actually use the rustable like rails. They use the ones that don't even do shit. Even after that oxidation process, the rusting process. I mean, if you want to learn like science, you can go into the rusting process. But the same, now the rail is there, right? You know, I'm swimming. Remember, right now, I can't actually like feel the flow of the swimming pool, right? This is the flow. This is the water, but the water is the flow, the rail, right? So now I'm just swimming. I let go of the rail, I swim, I cut the rail, I let go of the rail, swim, kind of. And it reached a point I missed the rail. Shit. And you know, once you're doing that now, you like panic. And now I miss the rail, I go back and lay back on the water. And now you see, once I've laid back on the water, I've actually laid far away from the rail. So now I go. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I knew in my head that I was down for I've died now. try to stand up. The water pressure is pushing my leg like to just stay like always laying on the water. And remember, I'm backwards, right? So now I'm like trying to do it like this, and because I want not to reach like at this posture, so that now I can like try to swim forward. I missed, bro. I drank water and I push myself out. I try to get even a small gasp of air. But now the gulp of water is coming like big one. Even the gulps, because it's never ending water. It's water that I'm covered like full bodies. So you can imagine how much water I have to drink. Probably the whole swimming pool of water. Bro, I drank water. They saw this, and you see, they didn't shout because they knew this was coming. Bro, that time I drank water. I didn't get out of the water because the shame. It's your first time, right? Remember the shame, everything. It was crazy. So, and you know why I knew like they were the perfect people like to do that shit. They didn't come later and tell me, "Oh, you did." Nah, the one who like saved me, he didn't even talk shit. He was like, "Okay, at least he learned." From that day onwards, I no longer fear water. Like in the sense of drowning, like because I don't know how to swim. No? I learned of it, like because now I was learning for like a month. I drink water because I used to stay in the swimming pool like for a period of a month. The first week alone, I never swam, never went to the deep end. The next week after drinking water, I went to the deep end, bro. My first time reaching the deep end. I'm like shit. So it's not even that big. Like even get into the water deep, and I'm like, sure. But if I didn't drink that much water at first, I'd still be afraid of reaching like that depths of swimming pool, and I wouldn't be cool too, because right there were also like women and shit. I mean, right now I'm talking about the ladies because I was actually how old? 14, 15, 14? Now, because I learned how to swim at 12 years, 12 years, 12 years when I went there. 13 years. Yeah, at 13 years, 13, that's when like I learned how to swim now. You know, imagine that kid drinking that much water, bro. It's like I had gone fully unconscious, but I still knew that I was still in water. So after getting out of that situation now, I went back into the baby pool. To first go and like recover and do this shit, I'm like, shit, I almost died. You see, that moment now hits you. Shit, I almost died. This shit is not a joke. So now I'm like, shit, okay, what else now can I do? Now that I've drowned and I've not died, okay, let me go back there, bro. Next week was the pro, bro. I was even racing the pro guys. I'm like, what? You know, let's go, bro. Don't play with me. Don't play with me, man. I'm crazy, right? That's what I'm saying. That's what my little recap of my swimming. That's why you see me, I'm very arrogant right now. Because even learning how to ride bikes, because if it's a bicycle ride, that one I don't even like try to say this what I did. Because once I was born like this, I found one there. Mine new, like on the first birthday, I was bought a bicycle. That's what they told me because I wasn't conscious enough to know that. But I always knew there was this one thing that every day I liked doing, which was riding a bike. Right now, even when like when you see my legs, they are big as fuck. Right. The first gift that I got was a bicycle, and it had like the wheels, like the extra one that they put on this side and this side. But now it reached a point my dad was like, no, 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 you don't need that. If you are riding with those shits and you don't ever touch the bike that I bought you, I'm like, oh shit, now this guy wants me dead too. I'm like, okay. And now he himself takes them off. And I was like, okay, go. Now, I don't even know how to balance this shit. Like you're telling me to go and I barely have like an idea of this machine that because remember, it was my first time like getting to this earth or this world. And now it's telling me, okay, go now. I'm like, what? Bro, yeah, I rode that. But I rode it. I mean, right now I even travel with it. ride kilometers with a bike alone because this is something I was born with, right? Just like saying like there, okay, I was not born with my teeth. My teeth are, I wasn't born with my teeth. So, okay, my ears, yeah, I was born with my ears, right? Yeah. So it's like a bike is like something that I was born with. Like, I don't know anything else around from it. So it's just life since like I got off of breastfeeding from my mom, teacher and shit. Now, the first thing, the mechanical part that I found out was my bike, right? It's crazy. That's it. A bike, that was my life. The people who I knew, they knew I had the resource. The resource is the bike. And they knew, okay, this guy, he might not want to play with us on their heads because they have no bike. So now I even like made connection with children or other people, different places because they had a bike. So now we build like this whole connection of kids with bikes. Just go biking. Like I remember one guy that time. I don't say his name here, but he's the one who like they had the biggest place to play because the father was like a major somewhere. So like we used to go there and the father was not around. And when he's there, he would like tell us, okay, today you're not going to ride bikes. You're going to come with me. He puts us like on the back of the pickup. He drives us to go to that place where he used to be. And now with that place, we go explore the whole world. So it's like once I get out of my compound, I didn't even tell anyone because I was alone, right? Like I grew up alone most of the time. And of course I'm a male kid, so I don't need to worry about going anywhere. So now I made connection with this side and they knew, okay, this guy has this. He has guards, he knows how to ride, he can go far. Like his parents, we know his parents, but him, because he's crazy, because I've always been crazy since back then. Like they're always the kid who like everyone knew around. That's how it was. Everyone didn't stop me like from having fun because I knew if we pass here, probably see me. Okay, where did he go? Oh, he went there. Okay, okay, okay. He will get back, right? And now that's just the basics of like how this shit is played. So now how I survive in childhood, like I try must tap into that inner child that I was, like comparing these whole lives right now as an adult, you'll realize you're even closer to tapping into that child than you like trying to become someone else who you are now, like someone who's always there, scared to do shit. Because right now, I even like ride bikes. I learned how to swim. Okay, my first time skill riding bikes. No, probably walking. No, my first thing to learn was learning how to speak because it's reached a point people are like, okay, why are you stammering like when you're talking to? I'm like, I'm stammering, but the information that I'm pulling out for you can't even comprehend. So now you want to reduce me to this language of yours so that now you can be able like, to manipulate it. I said, no, they knew me, the kid who gives endless stories. It doesn't matter how boring the stories are, but there will always be a story to give. That's one thing that is always like with me every single day. You can tell, right? And now this one comes with a lot of limitations now on other people's side, not on my side though. Because me, I've been like that. If you tell me not to be this, then give me another reason or another thing to be this thing that you want me to be. So now there is the point I'm like, fuck. I like, is that my purpose in this life now? Because I can't even tell what the next second will be. I can't tell what will happen in the next second. But what I can truly tell is that if I plan something, I'll do it. So now like, I actually don't need anything. Now I grew up, like I learned about money. I'm like, so like even people are working to get money to like get the bike that I bought. And I'm like, you mean there's no other life that I can use or like I can be useful in so that like these things can be provided? Like mostly, I don't like to say it freely, but I actually worked for it. Working, I mean like, what can I do like to acquire? This can be like, okay, give the best stories to the people who have the thing, and they'll give it freely to you. They'll give you one of it, then put you into their world because now you, the best thing is giving this. I give an example of the story because that's one thing now that people can understand better. Because again, this video is going out in public, but I don't know like who's going to watch it. So That's why I try like to narrow it to one thing, because if I speak out my mind like what actually happens here, like nobody can ever comprehend it because it's psychologically impossible. That's why I say now I try like to put in a box for me to also for it like to be actually, I don't like to say monetizable, but for someone to get or relate with it, right? That's the real word. Like relate with it. Hmm. Is it really relate? Or I'm just praising myself. Again, as I say, like it doesn't matter. Like whatever I'm doing it right now. That's the basics, right? I'm not doing it for tomorrow, for forever. No, I'm doing it like for this moment. This moment, right? You see that timepiece first of all. Look at that timepiece. Eesh. Like I'd say now the aesthetics are matching and everything. Hmm. Look at that. Look at this. You see, this one looks like it has a little depression here on the headphones and shit. If this one had a headpiece, it would look like the love that two guys mostly say it is. But you actually I've come to realize that people associate love with an emoji. The red one thing, right? Then this one thing has the red here and shit. It's just going down. But this one now allow my head cancelling or no noise cancelling headphones, right? And they're very comfortable. You can see the sponge right there, which is bouncing and shit. So now I can't even hear anybody. Even if someone knocks, or they want me to say, even if someone uses the bell, the doorbell, right? This is what I'm saying. Look at that. Yeah, this is what I like to do. Shit, that hair is big now. And go to the barber. Barber. Or I need to get the machine myself so they can just be doing it here. It's so surprising because I used to grow hair, even like the people who knew like from 3 to 4 years back, probably five, they're like, oh shit, this guy used to have like so much hair. What happened? Now that one, leave that guy alone. That guy now is gone. This is the guy now you meet here. Once you come close, like behave, right? Because that was the guy you are used to. This one now you don't know, so you don't even have access to him. Like so that's why I'm saying you can't comprehend or envision this guy. So now, yeah, you just come straight if you want to come. I mean, that's how it is right now, right? If you want us like first of all to work. That's why I put my number on all the social that I'm in. Probably, probably, probably not on IG. Probably because IG like the IG tags are open and it's the quickest way like for you to communicate on IG. Even on this live, I just pin my number there. Of course, my M-Pesa number because I also have to pay bills, right? The electrical bills, get the shit up, the shaving bills, right? You need this outstanding guy every single time, right? Look at that. Hmm? The equipment bills, but I don't even see them as bills. I see them something that helped me like get here to where I am. I probably look back at this video like 10 to 20 years to come because right now I'm 23 years. Probably the 23-year guys will not have, will not be like this. Of course, will not be like this. This look is only for today. Even this hoodie is only for today. Right? This whole setup is only for today. Look at that. Who knew? You know these things that are like psychologically controlling you, showing you, hey, the direction that you need to look at. You reach here, it bounces off to here. Now your image view gives you here. Once you look straight at the column, it gives no. Look at the shoulders now. Not showing you. Now look at the shoulder. The hood is directing you up to the head. And now the head comes and bounces off like the headphones. Now once you get up here, it compresses you down. So now it gives you like the look of me, right? It shows you how I am. That's psychology. That's how you set up this whole process. I mean, and this is for the single view because I'm alone here. Probably because that's what made me record this shit. Because if I had someone here, like I'd probably not be recording. And Also, if they're seated there or seated here or here, probably like talk when I'm also observing their behavior because that's how it is. Like we reach in, we read each other's energy. So now, once you stay there, just make sure like your food on your craft too, that you don't disturb the other ones like on this side when they are doing their shit, right? Yeah, and if you're seated there, keep quiet, right? Because we have nothing else to do. Now, as you're talking, we have something to say. So shut, shut it. So that because that's why you're on that side, like, and I'm this side, like speaking to you. So if you want us not to compete, but I don't think that one even happens, right? It never happens most of the time because everybody knows like what they really want to get out of this space. So you rather give me my 1 hour of my 30 minutes, 30 seconds, 1 minute doing whatever I want to do. And then for that, I mean, there's so much time. You see, one thing that I came to realize is that, like, most of the time I was like, okay, what should I allow this one person to speak? Because I used to think that the life will end after, like, I give them the 1 minute that they want or the 1 minute of information that they want to. And then I realized, shit, I have like another 23 hours left if I'm giving them an hour. I have like 24 hours left if I'm giving them 25 or 20, or a week of speaking. I have the other ones to myself, so I don't even actually need to worry about what's happening right now. I'm just like, that's a good observation. Okay, how much are they giving me then? Like, I don't need anything from them because if this place doesn't suit me, I just walk away. I'm going because right now I have things to do, right? But right now I have nothing to do. That's why I'm recording this shit. As I said, even if like I find myself having so much to say, I felt like take a step back and be like, okay, how is this one helping me? Not just arguing for the sake of or something that I want to change, or probably I have an idea. But when I have an idea, I don't talk it out. I show it every single day. Yeah. Just like when I'm doing this and someone says, hey, I want like to record a video with you. I'm like, okay, just tell me like when you are ready. Oh, it's now? Okay. Okay. You're on. Okay, let's do it. And now we finished doing the video and now you find it so simple like for you to do these things because you don't need like you don't have a time frame for anything. Now you're just there living, experiencing, like sharing ideas, being relaxed because that's the only way that you can do this shit. But again, too, you can be too relaxed and you also forget like what this thing like led up to. Like, how did we find ourselves here? We are too relaxed. But now, once like you are living in that moment, it doesn't matter. There will always be time. I used to think that the time will reach a point and it will end. Like it will reach a point and I'm like, okay, first of all, let me fast. Let me keep quiet for a second and then when whole thing is done, probably I thought that moment never come. And now the brain adopts to that comfort and then you're like, just stare shut. So now I have like to trigger it every single time. Like, hey, what are you doing? Like, can you do something? Because I know this guy, I know where this guy came from. So, but I'm not looking at that guy now. I'm looking at this guy. Okay, that's what this guy now is doing. He has reached here. Right? So, but now I have like to push him like to reach a certain place too, because it's not even pushing. Pushing sounds harsh, right? Yeah, pushing sounds harsh a bit. Yeah. So now we have to digest the fact that pushing sounds harsh, and then what? Just sit there digesting it, and then what? Yeah, we just give up our life for the next second to think about that, and then we get back to our final form. Like it's crazy. That's like when I go to places and they're like, okay, let's take a moment of silence for this. This is I'm like, at least even your body relaxes because now you have been told, let's take a second. You're like, oh shit, you mean I wasn't like on my time? Let me take a moment. And after that minute, I'm done. Like this is what I'm going to do. That's just how it is. That's my way of thinking. Right. That's my way of thinking. I don't know. Fuck. crazy. I know. Wait, am I really crazy? Because who speaks to a camera alone? Right? If I had like a cameraman there, it would be different. But alone at night, actually, right now, it's 3 a.m. I mean, who does that? And I'm so free at doing it that it actually makes sense. And even you look at it, it's like an hour long, 30 minutes plus, speaking to yourself. Like, wait, even like when you are even speaking to someone else, are you speaking to them or you're speaking about you so that they can hear? Right? I mean, you have not to measure these things. And then you realize, shit, I'm only doing this one for myself, right? Because now, if when you are speaking, like you're not in your head, that's one thing that I came to realize. Like you voice out, like you're planning thing, you're making a decision, you're making it only for you, so that it like fits your purpose or your timing at that time. Hey, timing is crazy word to use. Again, I'm learning more vocabularies every single day as I'm doing these things. Now, something just comes and hits you. You're like, oh, shit, what is that? Now it reaches a point I'm like, okay, I only need like to focus on this one task here. Then after I'm done, I can do this. No, I'm like, no, I don't need to focus on this. Okay, I can still do this while I'm still doing this other one. But now for this one to come and affect this one I'm planning to do, I need first to start doing this. And I'm like, I don't need to start to. Now, once I found myself or I reached that point of me wanting to do something, I'm like, that's not true. That's not how it's supposed to go because it's something that I want to do. I should not even plan of doing it. Just like right now, in the next like probably 5 hours, somewhere I'll be heading to. So now I have like to prepare mentally to like for me to go there, right? Now it makes sense because it's just me, right? Yeah. Something affecting my lips or what? What is dryness? It can't be dryness. Ish. The setup looks nice. And it probably reach a moment where I'm like, shit, that setup was shit, right? Because now I have something new. But right now, oh, it's perfect. Look at that. Look at even where this one cuts like the switch or right? I mean, I can do anything that I want right now. Even the blue. I'm telling you, this setup is crazy. You're just not here to see it, right? I made that thing so conscious that I balanced the colors, the lighting, the setup, everything. There's some videos that I used to record back then. And it was just like drywall. Like on my YouTube, there's that the started videos where I edited some of I didn't even like complete editing the other thing. I don't know, I probably deleted it, but I captured the good moments because uploading it was took me so much time and space like on my laptop. So now that's why I decided to stream again because it just goes directly on YouTube. If I need to retract it, I just record it here. Then if it's editing later, but the raw thing is on YouTube. Like with those weird silences, the whole setup, me standing doing this. But now what we see outside is actually the clips, right? Like for the raw moments, again, I say AI is so advanced that it does that whole thing for me. It auto clips everything, it edits. Probably for me, what I'll do is mostly for this video, depending also on the setup, maybe the colors adjustment. But now, like with paid tools with the AI, you can upload like your alert there, and then you just put it for it on the whole video. Now it will just cut everything, apply the alert, do that, publish them, schedule them, publish them, post on every platform that you want. But now that's paid. They're free tools, but now they get less of that privilege, the pro things that you can do. Like it's limited. Yeah, that's the word. It's kind of has constraints for you so that when you are doing this, this is just the limit that you can do first. But now, if you pay like mostly monthly, yearly, it depends too on your pocket. But if you are really serious with it, it will do everything for you do this because I've even noticed like on one of my videos that I autoclick, which actually did very well. That shit, I did it for free. Like even the watermark, big ass watermark there is like goes down, goes up. It's like I'm advanced. Yeah. So I need to end this shit. I think I'm tripping right now. Yeah. Because there's no way you can't say something like advertising. Right? It's not even true or anything. Right? Yeah. That's crazy. But that don't really not stop me. Yeah. The number is there. Is the M-Pesa number. And let me put my WhatsApp number. WhatsApp number. It's 07. Should I even say number or just WhatsApp? So now the lights like cuts at every 30 minutes. So if the lights cut off the last time, it was actually 30 minutes ago. So now if it cuts again, it's 30 minutes. Again, 30. Oh, yeah, that's a good time. But now there was a time that it was just continuous. I don't know like which button I pressed. The whole thing just ran up completely, like just there in the moment. I didn't know that stream was so long that I did it for actually almost 3 hours because I was always in the zone. But now it is let's give you that fright sometimes, right? Just like tumble, like when I had like stage fright, right? I just stand somewhere in front of people. They just like, shit, all these people are just coming here to listen to what I have to say. But now, like, once you reach a certain level, you're like, okay, I am the one now who is there now. Okay, leave the stage alone to me. I'm going to do this thing bit by bit, covering or actually getting involved in whatever I want to deliver the message. It doesn't matter if people like it or not. But if I see someone on the crowd, like even giggle, that's it. That's how you do it. Like you don't actually talk to the whole people. You talk only to one person. Because now everybody wants to be that one person in the crowd, right? So you see this thing is so crazy that people like want to talk to them. Like they reach a point they're like, okay, wait, he just talked to me. Like he spoke to me. He spoke to my heart. I'm like, shit. You guys like you guys are really like on that level like that. Like it's like learning psychology, but it's not actually psychology. It's like you just being you. Yeah, that's the basics of it. It's just okay. This is what I've done. This is what I've managed to achieve on this time. But I'm not going to let it like count or affect me in any way. So I'm just doing this for the moment, for the time being. Well, that's how you do it every day. Now, let me put my WhatsApp number there, right? 7984722. Now just post it there. I don't know. I should have gave that number, but because I know how it is. Now you guys will come and be like, oh no, we have your number now. It's a tumsarimie. That shit is that's big crazy. I remember that time where like all the celebrity numbers would leak. Um, the people who are living like in Mabati houses and mud houses would be like, okay, let us greet him just for them to have that feeling to have a number of someone prominent. So now they think, okay, if I tell him this, he might be, oh, don't do that. Okay, just give me your details and then I'll plan out for a meetup and then I'll pay you so that you don't do this. Or they try to figure out so that they can con their way into that whole life of them or into their existence just by having that out. But now they will come there with so many insults, and now the prominent people just screenshot that and put it out on the internet, and now the number of the person who sent it would leak there. No, these moments are crazy, but it still exists, right? Yeah, I've seen they're trying now to like bring that whole thing down again, like bring it up, right? So that that's now a thing. Just like how people are now canceling others. I'm like, how can you cancel like the voice? Like, did you even make the internet so that you can reach that point of saying, okay, this is the person who did this, and this is the platform they are using because of us. We were trying to do this because they really affected our life. So now we meet to a common place. It's like, okay, I don't want to ever hear about this person. Remember, I was once their fan, or probably agreed to what they said. But right now, what they have said now, it's totally unacceptable. We can't have him now talking about anything else because we only wanted him to speak up or about this thing. But now he went on to this other thing now that we don't agree with, or something that we completely disagree with. So now it's like shit. Okay. So now, if like we can take away the voice of one person, if any other person tries to come up or to stand up to say that thing, also going to come for them. But also, people now they keep on saying the same shit. But now it's like no, like style of delivery too, right? Style of delivery is what is the problem. It's not him. So now, like once we take out the style of delivery of a person, like actually take out their whole character because that is how they delivered it that made it like trigger you. You're not it's not even the person, it's what they said and their style. So now just convinced and so conflicted that okay, we must now end this talk. Because if we don't now they start speaking like this and we don't want them like to proceed or to the next level of this whole thing. So now we must like trigger them or what is it called? To try to silence them in this one way here. Then now, if they dare to stand up on this other side, we don't want it, right? It's crazy, but that's how it is, right? Yeah. So now you just do these things every day, every day, every day. You don't even matter what you are saying. As long as like he has a voice, because this one thing hurt us so much, we don't even want to speak of anything else that he said. And I'm going even to unfollow him and tell everybody closest to them or closest to me or to anybody that I can access. Like, did you listen to that guy? Did you hear what he said? Not because something triggered, you influence others who like you don't even know their life, you know where they're struggling with, not come and destroy this one guy because it was something that was hurtful to you. So now you can't even try to stand up or do anything about it. So now you include everybody else in your misery and shit. And at the end of the day, that guy is like, probably if you guys are powerful enough, if you guys have a certain number to it, you destroy the whole shit. Of course, this is the monetary part. You guys must target because at least he's getting out of his way or is now he has now advanced. He has like like he or she now like they are not on their league they used to be, or they are not on your league, right? I'm trying to comprehend these things in my own way of thinking. This is the raw me, right? This is the person now who you meet on a daily basis. The one who you see here is still him, but now this one is the raw one. Who's trying to make all these things come, trying to comprehend it in a way that probably even a 1 year old can listen to it. Right? That's how it is now. Once now you come and meet the people who are truly there, it's like shit. So now, what do you actually mean by you saying that? And then I'm like, but it's not even that big of a deal, right? Yeah, because if one person says this and you disagree with it, you disagree with it, right? It should reach the point that when you want to say something, you always think, okay, these people will also disagree with me because I once disagreed with this person. Now you think that you reach to their level and now people want to disagree. No, people don't even give a shit. Like right now, I'm recording this video. I don't even know about anyone. Like I'm just me fully on my zone. Don't even care about anyone. But now you want me now to worry about you, like when you're not doing anything. No, I think me what I say is that please do something so that we can know you of something, right? You can like be the best person ever. Like I remember when I was playing football. Like for the team, we used to know, okay, this guy was the best goalkeeper ever. This guy was the best striker. This guy was the best mid. This guy was the best defender. This guy was the best coach, the best ref. We know like this guy refs your shit. That game is going to be fair and free. So then the results of the game, whatever he says, whatever they provide within the community of like professionalism, that is what is accepted always, right? That was something, right? And it was true at some point. But now you also look at it. So now, as I'm saying, don't look deeper because now you will start seeing like their flaws and shit. Now you start judging them and be like, oh, so it wasn't even the shit. And you're like, oh shit. So now, by you saying that one thought, like triggers the brain of many people. Like it's like an venom when it gets like into your bloodstream, right? That one drop affects everybody else around you, or even affects your arteries, your vein, everything. So now you do that until now you get the anti-venom, but the anti-venom is always there because the anti-venom is created from the venom itself. Like it's something crazy, but as I'm saying, right, you have to reach a certain level of you being able to comprehend things in that way so that now you can see this side and see this other side. So now you see them as one thing, it's just that there's an imaginary line that is holding them together, right? Yeah. That's why I saw even like the snake's teeth, right? They look like this. They are carved backwards. Yeah, like this. They are carved backwards so that when the prey gets in, it can't get out. Like it's always got there, right? Take an example of a rat or a squirrel or something like what is the name of that thing that has colors? It's in the rodent family, but now it's still eaten, right? Yeah, there's a name for it. I don't remember it. Also, people keep it at home, and it's very sweet. It's a small thing that has like colors. The colors looks like this table here, right? But now it's mixed up with the white and shit. And the ones they are kept when there are many, they bite each other's like bodies, and they are very aggressive with each other. But now once you take it, you also like if you put your finger there, they might probably come for it. So, but they are very sweet. Like in the rodent family, I don't remember what the name is, but probably come to me back later. Those shits are sweet. And then amount of meat there, because the bird, they are big, right? But they are sweet as fuck. But now also getting them, they're like found in the wild, right? Yeah, just like the rats and shit. Even like the cats, when they see them, they barely hunt them because they are fast, they are fierce, they have teeth, right? And they move like in big numbers. So if you find one, just know there's a nest nearby. And it's not like nest on the bird, but nest like underground. They go, they hide there, and only one comes up. And even the mother is not even big, but they're all like the same size. This is the adult growth, right? It's like a rat, but probably a bigger version of a rat, but still smaller than a cat. So it's just there. And the legs are crazy. There's a name. It wants to come, but it's running away. The one that has the running place. What is it called? The one that we associate like with the whale, where it gets in there and it runs on the whale. It even has the name for the whale. There's something. Fuck it. I mean, once I say that, now you know what I'm trying to say, right? It's a crazy name. I don't remember it because now I saw it once, like with someone who had them in a cage. There were like probably 12 of them, and the cages were like on the top part. It was crazy. The top part is the small ones, and the bottom part is the other ones, the mixed up ones and shit. Oh, they were all living there together. But now it's used to say like the piece from the small one is so crazy that it affects like that whole zone. If it's a house like this, once you keep it in a corner, like that one there or this one, the whole house smells. Of course, I'm like, of course it's peace, even when you peace here. Now he was trying to tell me like these things are so rare, like you don't even know because I went there with curiosity. I'm like, I don't what are they? Because for the first time that was one thing that I never saw that animal in my life. Now me going to that guy. The guy was actually Kamba, right? Yeah, and he used to keep so many of them. The time even wanted like to kill one and eat it. Yeah. But he told us, okay, because we were in a hurry, he goes, okay, you go there and once you come back, I will kill one for you. I was like, okay, we're doing that. We went and we never went back because things happened there. So yeah, but now at least I had a knowledge of it, right? Yeah, but that shit is crazy. It 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 triggered like my knowledge, like my psychology. I'm like, I thought I've seen like all the animals, but this one here, I hadn't seen it. So now it reached a point I'm like, okay, what other animals did I not see? Now, as this that I'm saying now, I started like going to game parks to look at just animals, animal reserve, those shit, just to see like different types of animals and how they do. Because like once you see it, like it triggers your brain now. The brain like sketches because the brain is like a template, right? It's what you put in it, it records it. That's what I'm saying. Like whatever you put in your brain, the brain captures that shit so good that you can come and retrieve it later. Like once you trigger that thought itself, it brings out that whole template of it. It's like, okay, this is the template that you triggered. Okay, see, that's like the algorithm, right? If you watch like, because like later I was watching the channels for training dogs, right? How the dogs are getting trained, how the breeds like get crossbreeding and shit, how you determine like the sex of the breed, how like you put them, like how you take care of them, the food that they eat, like the people that you do, like the type also, like dogs, right? They have different species and the species too, like they have like what they are best in, right? Take an example, like take a bulldog. Of course, everybody knows the bulldog, right? The one with the big shit. Okay, take an example, like a Rottweiler, right? That shit, we all know it's aggressive as fuck with claws to no tail, right? That's one thing. Aggressive, strong jaws, claws to no tail. A husky, people know it, why? Looks like a wolf, or it's actually people bred it like from the wolf family, right? Now, with the help of this other thing, now they it all mixed up, and now people took it as a dog, and also like the voice that it remove all produces, like the wolf sound, like the like at some point, right? I didn't try to sound like Michael Jackson there, but yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? The chihuahuas, the small ones, even another ones like smaller than a chihuahua too. They're the ones that they grow to a adult capacity of this size. A chihuahua is bigger and probably others are white, others are not white, right? But there's also these other like tall dogs, like they are so tall, but they are so small. Like the average is that. I just remember that dog of Toy Story, right? The one that is so tall, the tall dog that looks like is like connected or some that dog to. So there are many different type of dogs. Also, there's the border collie, the ones that the shepherds use. I'm not talking about the German shepherd, the border collie, right? The ones that are so far, like so persevering, like they can go to the depths of anything. They are not tired easily. They can do what they can swim. They can do everything. That's like a shepherd dog. So now once you see that, a Chihuahua cannot hunt. It's not a shepherd dog. So I'm saying now, these whole dogs have different things that they do best, right? Yeah. So that's how I see life, right? Different people, different things that they can do better according to how their body adapts or according to how good they are to. Because these things you develop them, right? Yeah, because cyclists, they didn't just wake up and become cyclists, right? They just decided, now, okay, I'm going to ride 10 kilometers today, okay? Tomorrow I might ride 5. Tomorrow I might not ride. The other day I'll go 20, 10. And then now that I'm with time, I reach a point that I'm like, oh shit, so now I can ride this whole Like, or I can write this much without doing anything. So it reaches a point I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I don't know why I'm talking with my hands so much. What the fuck? It makes me feel good. I talk with my hands however I want. You see, as I say now, people like will try to put you in a box. Which people though? The problem is that I'm listening to people, right? The problem is that you listen to people. So now they try to put you in a box so that you can behave in a certain way. That they can only know you. That once you deviate from that, they're like, no, he's not the guy we know. So now, whatever it's trying to morph into, we don't want that one. So now we must come against it through anyway. No, it's like, okay, you want me to remain a toddler forever? I need to only feed on milk alone for the rest of my days or what? At which point I'm like, I don't want this life anymore. Like, it doesn't matter what it means. Even if it means like me running away from this whole dysfunction here, I'm doing it. And if you try to come close to me with that goodness again and be like, okay, I've changed. No, stay away from me. I don't want you. Like, that's one thing that's like is the hardest thing to do right now. Even right now, always. Because me, if people try to put me in a box in any way, and go beyond my way to get out of that box because I don't know what that box they have created is, what is at the end of it. So before you show me what is at the end of it, first of all, let me first show you what's the start of it, right? Let me first show you that I've seen your box and it doesn't make sense to me or I don't appreciate it or it doesn't benefit me in any way. Again, it's like I measure, okay, you put me in this box, okay, what am I benefiting at the end of it? If it's nothing, the box is useless. I'll kick it, break it before you even try to do anything about it because it doesn't make sense, right? Just like how they say in African Christian religion, they break every chain. And all these are boxes now, right? Boxes are squishy, right? They are prone to water damage. So yeah, before they try to box you, pour hot water on it, right? Yeah, pour hot water on that. Yeah, like take the box, cut it piece by piece, even if it means biting, do whatever it takes. As long as you survive, as long as you fail now, at least the box that is the resist. And again, get away from the people who try to box. That's the biggest thing I can say, right? If this thing makes no sense or it's actually looking like this, well, ah, I thought someone commented here or some, but it's not a comment. What? What is it? Is the what is this? What are these white things on my eyes? And I did not wake up. What is that? I just wipe it off. Yeah, a bit. So that now I can continue speaking freely as I'm supposed to. Because I live alone, right? These are the things that I can do. And again, as I said, like I don't even expect someone to watch my live videos. Because what are you watching? Like, go make yours, right? Go make your own. It makes no sense, like, for you to come and watch my shit. But also, it's not that I'm refusing you to watch because I put it on public, right? You guys can watch it. Oh, it's the reflection of the light. Fuck me, man. What am I doing? You trying to put imaginary problems on my silk, clear, soft, feathery skin. You can judge by the camera quality too. Also by post editing, which makes no sense. Right? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, the best thing that I've ever done is me starting streaming because I haven't seen nobody like my streams or anything. What I've seen them like is like my short videos that I put them. And it's like TikTok like banned my videos like because I uploaded a bunch of them at once. So by the end of the 20th short video, like they stopped pushing the videos. Like they stopped pushing it completely. You know, today is when they push like one of them, which I was talking about, like why I quit camp or why I dropped out of campus, which is a weird concept for them to push because that's what I look at it from probably 3 days ago, 00000. But the ones that I posted like a day or some hours before, 80 views. I'm like 80 within like some hours. But the others, zero. That's why I'm talking about just nonsense and shit because that's what I do nowadays. This one, they didn't even touch it. And the rest beyond that. But this one pushed almost like the most performing or top performing videos. No, I'm like, shit. At least IG pushes my videos, which I didn't upload of recent, but bro, I don't know. Bro, I don't know. Chat. This shit has just been amazing. Me, I thought like my videos would just hit 00000. I'm like, shit, 10 people watched my video. 10. What are you guys watching? What are you guys liking first? Because that one is amazing. 10. Do you know how much time it takes for me to have like 10? 10. That means, and it also makes, like, you make it once. I see someone like, I'm like, you guys are liking my videos? Like, what did I say? So that you can, like, you mean now I can communicate it to you? Like, you mean now it makes sense or what? Right? Which I say, like, the best mistake that you ever do is give someone attention. Because now they'll go hard like crazy. That's what I'm saying. This is all your fault, guys. Like, that's why I decided to stream today because you guys showed me that you can listen to my stream, you can like it. So I go hard like crazy every day, just going, pushing this shit. But it's not that I'm doing it for you, right? I'm doing it for me because as I started, you didn't know me. I just started recording and I just saying shit. Right? You didn't teach me any language, right? Yeah, like, that's how it is. And my language, as I progress or proceed like to the next level, it even gets better. Even like my voice, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this thing, like it has no script. Probably the poorest videos that I've done, I've seen them. They're close to 1,000 views. I'm like, wait, but this video I didn't even want to post it. But it has the most likes, the most views. I'm like, shit. So now, like, that one tells me, like, I can never know what to post or what to not to post later. I know it reached a point I'm like, shit, okay, what is there now left? What is left now? Because this one has shown now to be one of the best, and now these other ones too. I'm like, shit. Yeah, and the other thing, I just remember that my IG, I don't know like how to schedule post. I have so many videos that are still sitting here, but I haven't posted them because it's a big process and I can't just post it one by one. That's what I used to do. Of course, that's what TikTok does. And I don't know. So the video now I read and researched about a tool that just post it on that tool and the tool actually post it to all these other platform. But now they schedule it themselves, which I like because right now I've seen that I've scheduled videos up to Friday. But again, that tool keeps all my videos. So even if this channel is gone, my videos will still be intact. It doesn't matter, right? Now it reached a point like AI like knows these things. If it's me, if it's my channel that I'm putting them, it knows what videos to push, what videos not to push. Like it wants to train you on consistency. That's why I said like the day that I go to live, like people subscribe to my channel. Like it doesn't matter. One sub makes a lot of difference. So it's like it's telling me every day that you go live, we always guarantee you of a sub. So now everyone's like shit. So what if I stream like for like 100 days, right? That's like okay, let me put 365 days for a year. It's like a year full of subscribers. 365 depends if it's on a leap year, 364. These are the things. Oh, 366. I don't know. I don't know as I'm saying, right? It's a plus or minus one. That's what I see life as. Plus or minus one. You can never be wrong. You can never be right still. So now you just play with the two things. Right? It's just juggling ball. People who at the shows where they take this ball, this other one, and the other one that is imaginary. You know, they throw this one, they throw this one, or the third one they take it, they throw. So they're juggling three of them, but they're only using two hands. So can you imagine the timing? It's like what is it called? Polyrhythm? Yeah, it's polyrhythm, right? Yeah, because polymeter is like two different time signatures or different times playing different times, right? Yeah, but polyrhythm is like different rhythms playing playing at the same time. Right? You can have like two and three, like it can be one, two, one, two, one, two, three, one, two, three, one, two, right? It makes sense too. That's all I'm saying, right? That's how it has to be every day, every day, every day. We are conquerors every day. I am a conqueror every day. I am a conqueror, right? Yeah. Just they say like these things makes no sense to me because I don't know why am I even streaming here. But it makes a lot of sense because I'm doing it for me. See, once I do it for someone else and they don't show up, like I'll be disappointed, right? But if I do it for me and I'm only doing it for me, I'm like, yeah. So I can just stream any day that I want, any time that I want. It doesn't matter because it's me. I'm doing it for me. And the algorithm promised me that as long as like I keep on doing it, they're always there for me. Not someone, right? It's a machine that guarantees you even like right now, when you're asleep, like the machine is still pushing, right? So you see right now with the internet, people are getting paid while they're sleeping, right? But now the amount of time that they put into their craft so that they can reach that level, crazy, crazy, crazy. That's now like, if you want to draw this shit, it only takes like a year fully. Like, when you are on your craft for a full year, you never run out. Like, your pockets will never dry up. It doesn't matter because it's not you, it's the machine, right? And we created the machines. Okay, I didn't, but people created. Okay, I'm part of it, right? Because I'm investing in the machine right now. Me posting this, and that. So now it's like I validated the usefulness of the machine. And what does it do? It provides the best atmosphere for you because now you are a plus to the machine. That's only what is needed. You are a plus to the machine, right? And so now it reaches a point, I'm like, okay, if this machine told me I'll always be getting this once I do this, I know it won't lie to me, so I just keep on doing it. This shit's so saggy. Right. You see these ones like the microphone and shit. You can hear this. Once they take it off and they put it there, it still captures the audio, but they just put it there. Right? Yeah. And it's a good shape. And we just adjust it like to the settings and everything. So I just put it there and now I can like do anything that I want. Right? I don't even feel like I'm a bit outside. Right? And now that one is perfect now. It looks like I'm looking to someone who is not here, right? Who is you're looking at me from this direction here, but I don't want like you to hear what I have to say. So I have like to move it, right? Yeah. I was saying because of the echo and shit, I don't want like to talk like that. I want to talk like this because this is who I am now. At least I can measure these things. Look at that. Look at fucking that, bro. Oof, this thing. And you see someone made this thing scratch. Someone came with the idea of making this thing. Like, you know how hard it is like to transform put frequency into the music form. Like once AI got into music, you know now that shit is advanced. Like now the computer shit is out of this one. Because you know how much this one takes to capture things that are felt but not like the things that are there. Like once I saw like the computer like put the audio into this shit, the visuals, I knew like that's the that's the total reset that we have been looking for because right now you can achieve anything that you want by just because the visuals are there, also like the visuals but in audio form are also is there. That's why now you see like podcast is the next new thing that is coming up because you don't even need to show your face, but mostly you just put like the images of the character and the character doesn't even know or care about like the visuals that are showing them. That's why now the audio quality is the perfect one because that's what people care about because you can just put these shit on and just listen to it. Just like old radios, right? Like you just have the old radios there and then you don't even need a screen. Once the tech came, the radios are the first thing that arrived, not the visuals, right? No, because yeah, it makes sense because that's how humans communicate. Just like birds, how do they communicate? By tapping or anything, right? So by humans, how do we communicate? By speaking out. So if you don't speak out, now you are no longer a human, or you are no longer nothing. Because now this is frequency too. That's why also birds, if they are defending their territory, they have like the even the tone changes. As I was saying, also dogs, right? If they feel threatened, it's how they bark, the body language shows. But now we don't need to know that. We just hear like the body, the voice, right? You know, it gives this whole clear image of like what the message is being communicated. Now it triggers your brain. But now the content that you are feeding on social media too affects you to let you realize it because you can't control your subconscious. Like you have to be able to stand up and say, "Oh, this is what it is. Okay, now I've seen this. Okay, this guy is trying to make me to be perceive them in a different way, but still, which they've succeeded because I've had it. So it makes sense now because I can't look down on them because it's a good thing. But anyway, so now you just live there. Because now, if you never tap into like the real you, like you can never achieve anything. That's how it is. Like, first tap into you first, the inner self. That's how now you communicate to anything. That's like animals communicate, right? If it's the mating season, that they have a language for it, a word for it, a body movement for it. If they have this other thing, they have that one too, right? I'm not here to teach you about these things, but that's the basics of human beings. Like, if you want to be able to communicate and move effectively from one place to another, the first thing that I know is like speaking skills. Use nature to understand life. Why don't you get there? Like, use nature to understand life, right? Also in animals, in nature, there's when there's danger, people know how to move, right? I'm talking about nature now, so people are not necessarily here as they should. So yeah, you just do that on this other side, and now it transform into this other side. But now people who have like refused to tap into that, they're like, no, why are you doing that? Like, we don't understand you, right? Because they'll even try to tell you like I'm not even the shit, like we don't like your tone, or we don't even listen to you. But they'll be like, there's that one thing that you say, but we still don't listen to you, but there's one thing that you say later or earlier on about you doing this and this. But you said you don't listen. Yeah. But still there's one thing. No, like you are now deflecting the whole point of view. What's the whole point of you? So saying that. You're like, okay, so now they're always behind this shit. It's just like once you ask people like, do you listen like to this type or person or to this podcaster or listen like to this big powerful person? They're like, no. But now you know their name, you know their origin, you know their language, even like adopted like to some of their cadences. But you still like refuse to this shit, right? You're like, no, like I can never fully accept, and that's okay Because now that's your brain now rejecting it. At least you have something that you're standing on for, which I've realized that's what people now come against, like to fight, because they have nothing that they can stand on for, or they have been denied so much something to stand for that is the only thing that makes sense to them. And now you're like, okay, that's a good point. So now what? At least you have something. At least now I'm giving you a reason to do it. So now it's crazy. So you always know that this person will always have you like in their head, which is crazy, right? But now you also like have to now strategize and encompass your whole thing towards them, because now at least you've seen this is what paid, this is what they pay attention to, this is what like they control the subconscious mind. So now just they are now living, experiencing it at some point. And now it will reach the point you're like, okay, I no longer want to save this type of people, or how can I monetize this type of people? Because they're always the one that they are coming here. So I can just leave them to go alone. Like I always have to have something in there for them, because that's defeats the whole point of you coming here. If you come here and I don't give you what you came for, you're like, oh, that's, but now we'll be like, that's you now. We want you now like that. You know, the next day you come, you give it to them. They're like, oh shit, you touched us again. And I don't want you now. You see, that's the reason why I came here now. And you're complaining to them because you came here and they gave you what they wanted to see. But now you're like, okay, so now what can I do with this information? What is this person going to give me? What point or at what time are they going to do the trigger word, right? I like giving the example of like a dog, right? When you want to control a dog at certain moments, you put like a bell, just like how schools used to control you. You know, like at this time, the bell will ring and the bell will trigger you to go this. So now it's like you're always salivating for that moment, right? Dopamine, you're like, shit. Then let it ring so that I can go. And now once you even hear or to like feel the moment it's coming for you to do it, you already know the brain is there. Now, if that's why it was so crazy, because if you want to trigger an emergency, like you either ring the bell so much, or like you ring it at first time, you stop, then you ring it at the second time, you stop. You're like, oh shit, that's different now. Now people wake up now to this whole realization of, okay, something has changed. This thing is not like what it actually used to be. So that's like a shift of the reality of what actually is supposed to be. But now that's not the case anymore. So now they're like, oh shit, okay, that's a change. So you have to adopt it, and they don't know what to do about it. The best thing is like to go and like figure out, okay, what is that disturbance that you said there? As I said, curiosity now and attention. Everything just comes to you, right? In a way that makes sense to someone or somebody else. So now you're just like, okay, that's a good point that you had there. But remember, I still don't agree with you. So I disagree with you. Yeah. I'm still learning how to put this word. Instead of saying I don't, I should actually say the word itself. Instead of saying I don't do this, say I do this instead. Or I just do this. Right? But I don't think someone will ever fully comprehend, because that's how we are taught to understand this. To turn it like vice versa for what we are used actually to what is supposed to be said. Again, I have like some very crazy dreams nowadays, because I don't dream, right? But once I dream, I'm like, shit, okay, what did I dream of today? I don't even have dreams. But once I do, my dreams are always about conquering something, because I ride with that dream until I reach the end point, but it doesn't happen. You see, that's how crazy it is. Now, if your dreams are telling you like the reality of shit, why don't you just follow that reality and understand that's what life actually is? You might be striving so much like for you to come up or do something particular at a particular point, but now you reach a point where like, oh shit, I never achieved it, and what I've been chasing my whole life has been a lie. So now what else is really a lie? Or how else can I know this thing doesn't even exist, right? Yeah, so now it's like, shit. So you are getting conflicted in that state of mind, and you are doing this, you are doing that. Now you go to the internet to try to look for solution for this, and that. You know, there's nothing that comes up. So now you're just mad at everybody else because they lie. But again, remember everybody is trying to achieve that, or everybody has been dealt without answer to. So now you're there. Like, but once now you start understanding and actually not rejecting it, but you taking it as okay, I've seen that. Okay, that's good. Okay, what else can I get from this whole interaction? Okay, you see, those small things that you do, and now remember the biggest thing is just movement, right? Continuation. Those things are happening so that you can continue because if you are left in that state, like you'll be stagnant and the mind doesn't work that way, right? That's why you even see me here when I'm talking, like I'm always raising my hand to do, even if I'm not explaining shit. It's involuntary, right? It's just like dogs when they or cats when they're moving their tail. They don't do that because they want to. It just comes, right? Just like breathing. We don't decide, okay, today I'll not breathe. I'll be like, shit, today I breathed in so many breaths. I don't know. These are like, how many breaths? 10,620? Shit, tomorrow now I'll do better, right? But that's not it. Just adapt. When you are doing the outdoor activities, the getting right is faster, right? Just have to understand this thing. It's not always that there's a reason for it, but it just shows you that not everything that is happening, there's always a reason for it. And now, once you start now trying to come and figure out the reason, that's now where like you get lost into this whole universe, this whole paradigm of you always expecting things, doing this, doing that. But that's not actually the truth. So you just okay, let me do this today. Then tomorrow I'll do it still. And now you do it today, tomorrow when you're doing it, it reach a point where you're like, okay, I don't need to do it. But because this thing got into my way because I thought today would be it's tomorrow, but it wasn't. But now remember you have still to reach this dopamine effect or this hit. So now the things that happen there, they don't matter as long as you reach here. That's what is the biggest. They call it consistency nowadays, right? They give a name to it. Yeah, write a name, right? So that now once you do that, you also feel good because it's the name too. You associated the name with something. So now it's a whole roller coaster of things that you have to keep on doing every single day, right? Yeah, so that's how it is. Like you don't actually need anything right now. But whatever you can do or whatever you want to achieve is always there. It depends now on what you want to actually do with. Right? Hey, I look slender. Of course I am slender. I mean, am I getting fat to get to a butchery or what? It's not something that can be eaten, right? Well, it's crazy though. But I saw that topic today of there's someone who is eating people, or is just the normal internet trending shit. There's the whole story behind it. I don't know. Like people you want to tell me now they're cannibals, that one doesn't exist. But I don't know. But me, I don't know on my end. Right? They're not here like on my door, like doing this shit. Hey, come I eat you. Mm-hmm. You see? I don't know. That's something that I saw, right? And you know why I associated myself with that is because when yes, it wasn't even today, it was like a day ago or 2 days ago, like when I was going to purchase something, and then someone just came there and told me, hey, you haven't like seen that person that is eating people. I'm like, what? One is eating people? Because I just laughed. I'm like, and that's your whole story that because I'm used to you giving me this story. So I'm like, oh, that's one of your stories. And now I come and research on the internet, like it was even brought to me because it gets like pushed according to your area because depends on where you live. So you'll always find it on the algorithm. And now I see them and I see it. But I also saw like another whole backstory of it. So I'm like, I'm conflicted now. Of course, that's how it is. So now I'm like, okay, this whole thing, these two things now there. Because once once I see it, or what I see is uh, when two stories conflict, they all cancel out. That's the power of the universe. That's how it is. That's why the number two, like always, cancel. Once you see something once, You must see it again so that now it cancels out and controls your subconscious, and now that's done for the number two, right? Yeah, that's my belief, right? That's why I told you again. I must repeat it so that you can know it cancels out, so that it makes sense. I don't know. It's just something that is there. Like you can't fully figure out what this being first is, but it's just there, right? Yeah. It's just like the goats that have like those things like look like testes, like here, on the arm. Those two things that hang here, right? They're so crazy because I'm like, wait, this thing has a beard and has like this small testes on like on the throat. I'm like, what are those things? And now because once I used to go like to Ocha and then I would just look, just bop them so that I can see what they're, and they're very light. It's like they don't exist, right? That's why I just bop them. It's just like the ears, right? Like you just like put it like this and they move. But those ones are round and they belong to a goat. So I'm like, this shit has like only to the male goat. I'm like, what is a male goat called? Right? I don't know. But that's how it is. I mean, you understand what I mean, right? Yeah. But those are the basics of just this whole thing. Like it doesn't even make sense at some point, but you have to truly be there for you to see it or for you to understand it in the best way possible. So now, yeah, it's just the basics. So now, today, 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 we're going to learn about something here. Let me go there because right now I've come up with like with this whole system where like I teach about things, this, and that. So yeah, not even teaching. Oh shit, that's my whole setup. I don't want you guys to come here and be like, oh, we saw your whole setup. Now we must steal it to better ourselves. But that's not one thing that you do, right? Just for the stories of it. So yeah, let us go here. And I want us to give out the stories because of course I always do that. Giving out stories make me feel good too. It's the basics, right? They call it the basics. Yeah, so now there is my Google Chrome means, right? Let's see what the topic of today will be. Let me come here on Google. Let me search alphabet wheel spinner. Let's see what the topic of this good thing will be here. Of course, I must leave. It's like a quote, you see? They're like, once we were like studying back then, there were those teachers who would come, give a story, they give a story, now they teach after. That's just an analogy of the teacher, just like the church. They come, they give you stories, they wash you up, right? Because uh, church has been very difficult for me. Let's see which alphabet. Um, R. Okay, that's good. I don't need to second guess myself. So now with that, let me come here to Wikipedia. That's where I get my stories from. They make a lot of sense to me because I'm just experiencing these good things. Encyclopedia. Encyclopedia. What? Starting with the letter R. I put that one there. I put it like in those little things, those little marks there. They didn't go to school, so I don't know what they mean. Just one, not the quotes, the one. I don't know, ellipse. I don't know, projection, revenge. Okay, this one is about psychology and human behavior, society and culture. Oh, on the previous stream, I did about, was it? I did about religion and the actual, yeah, how religion started. I did that video. It's about, I don't know, an hour long or 2 hours, I don't know. So yeah, that's how it is. So today I'm going to look at, I don't know, let me just explore the topic. There's money and business here, rich mindset, risk taking. I want to look at how this is the robotics, technology and robotics, regulation of reality, virtual reality. That's what I'm talking about. It's philosophy, because that's what mostly I've been tagging my videos about. But let me just explore here. Internet culture, repose, reply guys, productivity. So I just thought of what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the topic of money and business, rich mindset, right? But now under money and business, I'm going to look at how money started, how how money came into the world and it was given the opportunity, or actually the place of being is measured as wealth, like how that whole history started, right? Yeah, let me come here and look at money, how it started. Remember the topic was R, right? So I'm not going just to put on Wikipedia rich mindset. Let me just put that money. Let me see what it's going to do. Money bag, even money, baby. Mm-hmm. Difficult Wikipedia. But let's start on. I should search for, yeah, this is it. It's on my server of sense. Money gun, money. The what is etymology? Not from Latin, monitor with many coin. French. Okay, the history. Yeah, this is it. This is the history of the money. Which is crazy because that's the whole point right now. Try to come and look at what money is actually. Yeah, I set up that shit first. Right. Set up that. That looks good. And I can start looking at what this whole the history of money and how everything started. The other stream I did the history of what was it about? The other stream I did about sex. I don't know, something about that. The last live video, I didn't edit it. It's just there fully, but the shorts are coming on soon, like because that's like the first thing that these are the things that I'm not trying to do just here because you just talk to the camera and while showing the screen, because that one at least shows progress and good use of the internet. Because now even if I post this one like on the YouTube or anywhere, it's not going to ban me, right? Because of the rights. Like the internet guidelines says, or the copyright says, like as long as you're doing it like for, what is it called? Not remixing, for commentary purpose or for reaction. That's why nowadays you can react to a video and you actually monetize it because it's not original content, like you put into it or add something on top of it. So now it becomes yours, right? Just like gaming. That's why you can monetize video games, like the gameplays, because now you have your own sound in it, or your own gameplay, or your own anything that makes it stand out. Like, because the gameplay is yours. You actually did some. That's why you can't monetize like video trailers without tagging the companies, but you can monetize video trailers using it as sponsorships, right? That's a good point. Now you can go back to your favorite gaming and take them and use them as affiliates or as sponsorships, and then they'll give you the threshold. Like, if this video reaches this point, they'll reward you a certain amount that is agreed on that contract, right? Basic things that we are doing here. So that's it. Let's look at the money here, which looks a bit crazy. We're learning about the history of money, like where it all started, right? The use of barter-like methods. What is barter trade? Barter trade is a system of exchange in which participants in a transaction directly exchange goods or services for other goods or services without using a medium of exchange. Such money as barter. Such money. Is this such money as barter? Let me first set this camera up well, what it is supposed to be. I mean, right now I'll just look at my setup here, how I had this thing. For those that wants to go to live too, for those that wants to start streaming, this is a good thing that you can do. It's just a setup. Now you go there. Okay, what is barter trade? What is barter-like method? In trade, barter is a system of exchanging in which participants in a transaction directly exchange goods or services for other goods or services without using a medium of exchange, such as money. Barter is considered one of the earliest systems of economic exchange. The use of barter-like methods may date back at least 1,000 years ago, though there is no evidence. What? You mean that brain is so fast that it gets the first or the last, what is it called? The first syllable just by passing the first one. Though there is no evidence of a society or economy that relied primarily on barter. Instead, non-monetary societies operated largely along the principles of gift money, of gift economy. What is gift economy? Gift economy or gift culture is a system of exchange where valuables are not sold, but rather given without an explicit agreement for immediate or future rewards. Social norms and customs govern giving a gift in a gift culture. Although there is some expectations of reciprocity, gifts are not given in blah blah blah. And debt. What is debt? Debt is an obligation that requires one party, the debtor, or the debtor, what you guys call it, to pay money borrowed or otherwise withheld from another party, the creditor. Debt may be owed by a sovereign state or country, local government, company, or any individual. Commercial debt is generally subject to contractual. You can read about that. When barter did in fact occur, it was usually between either complete strangers or potential enemies. Many cultures around the world eventually developed the use of commodity money. Right? Here. What is commodity money? Commodity money is money whose value comes from a commodity of which it is made. Commodity money consists of objects having value or use in themselves as well as their value in buying goods. This is in contrast to representative money, which has no intrinsic value but represents something of value. Okay, the Mesopotamian shekel unit of weight. What is a shekel? A shekel or a shekel is an ancient Mesopotamian coin, usually of silver. A shekel or a shekel, whatever. I mean, different cultures have different pronunciation. So, shekel, I'm just looking at what I'm saying. A shekel or a shekel or a shekel. It sounds better. That's like German. Like Oh, that's Chinese. Okay. Okay, that's Arab. Okay, a shekel was first a unit of weight of a value that varied over time and by issuing authority. It was also used by ancient Tyre, Carthage, Philistia, and Hasmonean Judea was the unit of weight and relied on the mass of something like 160 grains of barley. Oh, this is now about the butter trade, right? Yeah. I mean, you know barley, what is. So I'm not going to tell you what barley is. If you need, go check, go Google on the internet, go watch videos on YouTube. The first usage of the term came from Mesopotamia, Saika or Kaika, 300 BC. Mesopotamia is a historic region in the west of Asia. Mesopotamia is a region. I thought it was like something like a invention. Mesopotamia is a historical region of West Asia situated within the Tigris-Euphrates River system in the northern part of the Fertile Crescent, which corresponds roughly to the territory of modern Iraq. Just beyond it lies southwestern Iran, where the region transitioned into the Persian Plateau. Right? Societies in the Americas, Asia, Africa, and Australia use shell money. What is shell money? Shell money is a medium of exchange similar to a coin, money, and other forms of commodity money, and was once commonly used in many parts of the world. Shell money usually consisted of whole or partial seashells, often worked into beads or otherwise shaped. The use of shell in trade began as direct. Often, the shells of the cowrie, of course, you know what a cowrie is. A cowrie or a cowrie is a common name for a group of small to large snails in the family. Cypridae, right? According, according to Herodotus, the Lydians were first people to introduce the use of gold and silver. It is thought by modern scholars that these first stamped coins were minted around 650 to 600 BC. What are coins? Coin is a small object, usually rounded flat, used primarily as a medium of exchange or legal tender. They are standardized in weight, produced in large quantities that are made in order to facilitate trade. They are most often used in government coin used by a government. Coins often have images. Representative money or receipt money is any medium of exchange, physical or digital, that represents something of value but has little or no value of its own. Representative money has a long history. Gold and silver merchants or banks would use receipt to their depositors, redeemable for the commodity money deposited. Eventually, this receipt became generally accepted as a means of payment and were used as money. Paper money or banknotes were first used in China during the Song Dynasty. Right? What is the Song Dynasty? Or what are banknotes still? A banknote or a banknote, also called a bill or simply a note, is a type of paper money that is made and distributed by a bank of issue payable to the bearer on demand. Banknotes were originally used by commercial banks, which were legally required to redeem. You can read more about banknotes because, of course, everybody knows about banknotes, which are really common nowadays in this economy, were first used in China during the Song Dynasty. The Song Dynasty was an imperial dynasty of China that ruled from 960 to 1279. The dynasty was founded by Emperor Tianzhu of Song, who usurped the throne of the later Zhou dynasty. I have to say it like in Chinese, Zhou dynasty, Zhou dynasty, and went on a conquer the rest of the 10 kingdoms, ending the 5th dynasty of 10 kingdoms. These banknotes, also known as jiaozi, jiaozi was a form of Okay, let's start back there. Jersey was a form of promissory note which appeared around the 11th century in the Sichuan capital, Shandong, China. Numismatists regard it as the first paper money in history. A development of the Chinese Song dynasty. Early Jersey not have standard denominations, but evolved from promissory notes that has been since the 7th century. However, they did not displace commodity money and were used alongside coins. In the 13th century, paper money became known in Europe through the accounts of travelers such as Marco Polo, right? Let's look at the history of Marco Polo. Marco Polo, born in 1254, 8th January 1324, a Venetian merchant, explorer, and writer who traveled through Asia along Silk Road between 1271 and 1291. His travels are recorded in the Travels of Marco Polo, also known as the Book of Marvels of the World, and by its Italian name, second millionaire in a 13th century travelogue written down by Restucciolo de Pisa from stories told by the Venetian explorer Marco Polo, right? That's the story of Marco Polo. And William Rabrook. Who is William Rabrook? William Rabrook or Rabrook was a Franciscan friar who, with the support of Louis IX. What is IX? Because let's look at this thing logically. IV is 4, V is 5, V1 is 6, V11 is 7, V111 is 8. So this was 9, right? So, because X is 10, yeah. William Rabrook was a Frenchian friar who, with the support of Louis IX of France, undertook a mission to the great Khan Moghi of the Mongol Empire. On his return, William wrote his William wrote his itinerarium. On his return, William wrote his itinerarium, an account addressed to King Louis, detailing his experiences and observations. Marco Polo's account of paper during the Yuan dynasty, which the Yuan dynasty, officially the Great Yuan, was a Mongol-led imperial dynasty of China and had a successor state to the Mongol Empire after its division. It was established by Kublai, the fifth Khagan emperor of the Mongol Empire from the Boljigin clan and lasted from 1271 to 1368 AD. Is the subject of a chapter of his book, The Travel of Marco Polo, titled How the Great Khan Cautioned the Bark of Trees made into something like paper to pass money all over the country. Banknotes were first issued in Europe by Stockholm's Banco in 1661 and were again used alongside the coin. The gold standard, a monetary system where the medium of exchange are paper notes that are convertible into presets, fixed quantities of gold, replaced the use of gold coins as currencies in the 17th and 19th century in Europe. The standard notes were made legal tender, whereby a legal tender is a form of money that courts of law are required to recognize a satisfactory payment in court for any monetary debt. Each jurisdiction determines what a legal tender, but essentially it is anything which, when offered tendered in payment of debt, extinguishes the debt, and a redemption into gold coin were discouraged. By the beginning of the 20th century, almost all countries had adopted the gold standard, backing their legal tender notes with fixed amount of gold. After World War II, the Bretton Woods Conference, most countries adopted fiat currencies that were fixed to the US dollars. The US dollars was in turn fixed to gold. In 1971, the US government suspended the convertibility of the dollar to gold. After this, many countries depegged their currencies from the US dollar, and most of the world's currencies became unbacked by anything except the government, fiat of legal tender, and the ability to convert the money into goods via payment. According to the proponents of modern money theory, fiat money also backed by taxes. By imposing taxes, states created demand for the currencies they issued. So now that was the beginning of taxes, right? Taxes create demand. In Money and the Mechanism of Exchange, William Stanley Jevons famously analyzed money in terms of four functions: a medium of exchange, a common measure of value or unit of account, a standard value or standard deferred payments, and a store of value. By 1919, Jevons' four functions of money were summarized in the couplet. In poetry, a couplet or distinct is a pair of successive lines that rhyme and have the same meter. A couplet may be formal closed or run open or run on open. In a formal or closed couplet, each of the two lines is end stopped, implying that there is grammatically pause at the end of a line verse. Money matter of functions for a medium measure, a medium. Money matters. Money is a matter of functions, whereby it's a medium, a measure, a standard, a store. This couplet would later become widely popular in macroeconomics textbooks. Most modern textbooks now list three functions: the medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value, not considering a standard deferred payment as the distinguished function, but rather subsuming in the others. Right? So by this they're saying a medium, a measure, a standard, a store. But nowadays they don't consider it as a standard of deferred payment as a distinct function, but rather subsuming it in the others, right? Yeah, which is crazy. There have been many historical disputes regarding the combination of money's function, some arguing that they need more separation and that a single unit is insufficient to deal with them all. One of these arguments is that the role of money as a medium of exchange conflicts with its role as a store of value. Its role as a store of value requires holding it without spending, whereas its role as a medium of exchange requires it to circulate. Others argue that storing of value is just deferred of the exchange, but does not diminish the fact that the money is a medium of exchange that can be transported both across space and time. The term financial capital is a more general and inclusive term for all liquid instruments, whether or not they are uniformly recognized tender. Let's look at money as the medium of exchange. When money is used to intermediate the exchange of goods and services, it is performing a function of a medium of exchange. It thereby avoids the inefficiencies of barter system, such as the inability to permanently ensure coincidences of wants, right? Let's take an example. Between two parties in a barter system, one party may not have or make the item that the other one wants, indicating the non-existence of the coincidences of wants. Having a medium of exchange can alleviate the issue because the former can have the freedom to spend time on other items, instead of being burdened by only those serve the needs of the latter. Meanwhile, the latter can use the medium of exchange to seek for a party that can provide them with the item they want. As a measure of value, this section is an excerpt from the unit. This is what is the unit of account? In economics, units of account, sometimes called currency unit or monetary unit, is a standard unit of measurement of the market value of goods, services, and other transactions, also known as a measure of re- relative worth and a standard deferred payment. A unit of account is necessary, right? In economy, unit of account, sometimes called currency or monetary unit, is a standard unit of measure of the market value of goods and services and other transactions, also known as measure of relative worth and a standard deferred payment. A unit of account is a necessary prerequisite for the formulation of commercial agreements that involve debt. It is one of the functions of money. It is basically for quoting and bargaining prices, and it's necessary for developing account system. A given base of unit of account analogous to base unit of measurement may have derived units of account. For example, 1 cent currency equals 100, which is close to 1/100, right? Yeah, in arithmetic, 100 is a single part of something that has been divided equally into 100 parts. For example, 100 of 675 is 6.75. In this manner, it is used with the prefix centi, such as in centimeter. 100 is also 1%, right? That's 100. 100 is also 1% of a dollar or other base units of many currency. Let's look at money as a standard of deferred payment, right? In economics, a standard of deferred payment is a function of money. It is the function of being a widely accepted way to value debt, thereby allowing goods and services to be acquired now and paid in the future. While standard of deferred payment is distinguished by some texts, particularly older ones, other texts subsume this under their functions. A standard deferred payment is an accepted way to settle a debt. As we said earlier, a debt is an obligation that requires one party, the debtor, to pay money borrowed or otherwise withheld from another party, the creditor. Many debt may be owed by a sovereign state or country, local government, company, or any individual, right? A debt, a unit in which debts are denominated, and the status of money as legal tender, whereby we say the legal tender is a form of money that courts of law are required to recognize the satisfactory payment in court for any monetary debt. In those jurisdictions which have this concept, states that it may function for the discharge of debt. The standard of deferred payment allow people to buy now, pay later, which buy now, pay later, BNPL, is a type of short-term debt funding financing that allow consumers to make purchases while only initially paying for a portion of their value, postponing payment of the remainder of the debt until a further date, or dividing into series of installments payments. When debt are denominated in money, the real value of debt may change due to inflation and deflation, whereby in economics, deflation is an increase in the real value of monetary units of account, as reflected in the decrease of cost of living measurably by broad price indices, and for sovereign and internationally debt via the debasement and devaluation. A debasement of coinage is the practice of lowering the intrinsic value of coins, especially when used in connection with commodity money such as gold or silver, while continuing to circulate it at face value. A coin is said to be debased if the quantity of gold, silver, copper, nickel in the coin is there reduced. Okay, let's look at devaluation. In macroeconomics and modern monetary policy, a devaluation is an official lowering of the value of a country's currency within a fixed exchange rate system, in which a monetary authority formally sets a lower exchange rate on the national currency in relation to a foreign reference currency or currency basket. Let's look at money as a store of value, right? A store of value is any commodity or asset that will normally retain purchasing power in the future and is the function of the asset that can be saved, retrieved, and exchanged at a later time and be predictably useful when retrieved. To act as a store of value, money must be able to be reliably saved, stored, and retrieved, and the predictability usable as the medium of exchange when it is retrieved. The value of money must also remain stable over time. Some have argued that inflation, by reducing the value of money, diminishes the ability of the money to function as a stored value. Property. Let's look at the properties or the functions of money that is as a medium of exchange, a unit of account, and a store of value. To fulfill these various functions, money must be fungible. In economy and law, fungibility is the property of something whose individual units are considered fundamentally interchangeable with each other. Fungibility or fungibility, its individual units must be capable of mutual substitution, e.g., interchangeably durable. Durability is the ability of a physical product to remain functional without requiring excessive maintenance or repair. When faced with the challenges of normal operations over its design lifetime, there are several measures of durability in use, including years of life, hours of use, number of blah blah blah, everything you know about durability, which means it's able to withstand repeated use, divisible into small units, portable, easily carried and transported, acceptable. Most people must accept the money as payment. Scarce, its supply must be circulation. Its supply in circulation must be limited. Money supply, right? Which is so crazy because this is the only thing that you need to understand, like how this whole thing came into plan, right? In microeconomics, money supply refers to the total volume of money held by the public at a particular point in time. There are several ways to define money, but standard measures usually include currency in circulation and demand deposits, right? In economics, money is any financial instrument. By financial instrument, I mean a financial instrument is a monetary contract between parties. They can be created, traded, modified, and settled. They can be cash in terms of currency, evidence of an ownership, interest in an entity, or contractual right to receive or deliver in the form of currency. But forex, debt, equity, which is shares, or derivative, right? The financial instrument that can, money is any financial instrument that can fulfill the functions of debt, the ones that I detailed above. These function instruments together are collectively referred to as money supply, which money supply refers to the total volume of money held by the public at a particular point in time. There are several ways to define money, but standard measures usually include currency in circulation and demand deposits. Right? Money supply data is recorded and published. In other words, the money supply is the number of financial instruments within a specific economy available for purchasing goods and services. Since the money supply consists of various financial instruments, usually come in demand deposits and other various of deposits, the amount of money in any economy is measured by adding together these financial instruments, creating a monetary aggregate. Economists employ different ways to measure the stock of money or money supply, reflecting in different types of monetary aggregates, using a categorization system that focuses on the liquidity. In business, economics, and investments, Market liquidity is the market feature whereby an individual or firm can quickly purchase or sell an asset without causing a drastic change in the asset's price. Liquidity involves the trade-off between the price at which an asset can be sold and how quickly it can be sold. Liquidity of the financial instruments used as money. The most common used monetary aggregates or types of money are conventional design designated M1, M2, M3. These are successively larger aggregate categories. M1 is currency, coins and bills, plus demand deposits such as checking accounts. M2 is M1 plus savings account and time deposits under $1,000. M3 is M2 plus larger time deposits and similar institutional accounts. M1 includes only the most liquid financial statements and M3 relatively illiquid instruments. The precision definition of M1, M2, etc. may be different in different countries. Another measure of money is MO or M0. It's also used. M0 is base money or the amount of money actually issued by the central bank of a country. It is measured as currency plus deposit of banks and other institutions at the central bank. M0 is also the only money that can be satisfied the reverse that can be MO is the only money that can satisfy the reserve requirements of commercial bank, right? So yeah, that's the basics, the creation of money. Before we go to the creation of money, right? It's first set up my good camera here so that it makes sense to what we are making or comprehending here. The creation of money. In current economy system, money is created by two procedures. Legal tender or narrow money, which is MO, is the cash created by a central bank by minting coins and printing banknotes. Bank money or broad money, M1, M2, is the money created by private banks through the recording of loans as deposit of borrowing clients with partial support indicated by the cash ratio. Currently, bank money is created as electronic money. Bank money, whose value exists on the book of financial institution and can be converted into physical notes or used for cashless payments, forms by far the largest part of broad money in developed countries. Right? In most countries, the majority of money is mostly created as M1, M2 by commercial banks making loans. Contrary to some popular misconception, banks do not act simply as intermediaries, renting out deposits that saver place with them and do not depend on central bank money MO to create new loans and deposits. Bank liquidity, market liquidity, market liquidity. Market liquidity describes how easily an item can be traded for other items or in common currency within an economy. Market liquidity describes how easily an item can be traded for another item or for the common currency within an economy. Market money is the most liquid asset because it's universally recognized and accepted as a common currency. In this way, money gives consumers the freedom to trade goods and services easily without having to liquid financial instruments are easily tradable and have low transaction costs. There should be no or minimal spread between the prices to buy and sell the instrument being used as money. Let's look at the types, right? What's the commodity of what is commodity money? Commodity money is money whose value comes from a commodity of which it is made. Commodity money consists of objects having value or using themselves as well as their value of buying goods. This is in contrast to representative money, which has no intrinsic value but represents something of value, right? Yeah, so it's like it represents something of value, but it by itself has no value, right? I think that's the only thing that you need to understand of money, right? Yeah. Many items have been used as commodity money, such as materials, cars, precious metals, conch shells, barley, beads, and many other things that are thought as having value. What is value? In early political economy, intrinsic or objective theories of value were a set of early theories of value holding that the value of an item is an objective property of the item itself. It has since been superseded in economics by the subjective theory of value, which recognizes the value of property. Most of these things is just like the commodity money value comes from the commodity out of which it is made. The commodity itself constitutes the money, and the money is the commodity. Examples of commodities that have been used as mediums of exchange include gold, silver, copper, rice, or palm salt. You mean one palm, you can tell what it is. It's a traditional shell beads of the indigenous people of the northern eastern woodlands of the North America. The term first refers to white and purple beads made from quahog, also known as the western North Atlantic hard-shelled clam, that has expanded to include white-shelled beads and fashion. Right? You can see all these are examples of commodities that have been used as medium, salt, peppercorns, large stones, decorated bears, shells, alcohol, cigarettes, cannabis, candy, etc. These items were sometimes used in a metric of perceived value in conjunction with one another in various commodity valuation or price system. In economics, a price system is a system through which the valuation of any forms of property are determined. All societies use price system in the allocation and exchange of resources as a consequence of scarcity. Even in barter system with no money, price systems are still utilized. The use of commodity money is similar to barter, but a commodity money provides a simple automatic unit of account. In economics, unit of account, sometimes called currency or unit or monetary unit, is a standard unit of measurement of the market value of goods, services, and other transactions, also known as a measure of relative worth and a standard of deferred payment for commodity which is being used as money. Although some gold coins such as Krugerrand, the Kruger, the Kruger, the Krugerrand is a South African coin. Oh, Krugerrand, the South African coin, first minted on 3rd July 1967 to help market South Africa gold and produced by Rand Refinery and the South African Mint, the name of the compound of Paul Kruger, the former president of the South African Republic, and the rand, the South African unit of exchange, are considered legal tender. There is no record of their face value on either side of the coin. The rationale for this is that emphasis is laid on their direct link to the prevailing value of the fine gold content and America's and of the fine content. American Gold Eagle is an official gold bullion coin of the United States, authorized under the Gold Bullion Coin Act of 1985. It was first released by the United States Mint in 1986. Because the term eagle also is the official United States designation of the pre-93 $10 gold coin. American eagles are imprinted with their gold content and legal tender face value. Face value, which is also called the nominal value, is the value as printed by the relevant issuing authority on a coin, banknote, bond, or stamp. Representative. In 1875, the British economist William Stanley Jevons, who was an English economist and logician, describes the money used at the time as representative money or receipt money is any medium of exchange, physical or digital, that represents something of value but has little or no value of its own. Representative money is a money that consists of token coins, paper money, or other physical tokens such as certificates that can be reliably exchanged for a fixed quantity of a commodity such as gold or silver. The value of representative money stands in direct and fixed relation to the commodity that backs it, while not itself being composed of that commodity. Fiat. Fiat money or fiat currency is money whose value is not derived from any intrinsic value or guaranteed that can be converted into a valuable commodity such as gold. Instead, it has value only by government order fiat. Usually, the government declares the fiat currency, typically notes and coins, from a central bank, such as Federal Reserve System, is the central banking system of the United States. It was created on December 23, 1913, with the enactment of the Federal Reserve Act. After a series of financial panics led to the desire for central control of the monetary system in order to alleviate financial crisis system in the US, to be legal tender, making it unlawful not to accept the fiat currency as a means of repayment for holders, public and private. Some bullion coins or specie refer to coins struck from bullion and kept as a store of value in a or an investment rather than used in day-to-day commerce or collectible with numismatic value beyond that of metal content. Bullion coin is distinguished by its weight and fineness of the coin, unlike round, crazy coins like right now. Some bullion coins, such as the Australian gold nugget, also sometimes as the Australian gold kangaroo, is a gold bullion coin minted by the Perth Mint. The coin has been minted on denominations of 1 over 10 Oz, 1 over 20 Oz, 1 over 4, 1 a quarter, a half, 1 Oz, 2 Oz, 10 Oz, and a kg of 20 karat gold. And American Eagle, a legal tender. However, they trade based on the market price. A price is the quantity of payment or compensation expected, required, or given by one party to another in return for gold, for goods or services. In some situations, especially when the product is a service rather than a physical good, the price for the service may be called something else, such as rent or tuition of the metal as a commodity rather than their legal tender face value, which is usually a small fraction of their bullion value. Fiat money is physically represented in the form of currency, paper coins, can be accidentally damaged or destroyed. However, fiat money has an advantage over representative or commodity money in that the same laws that created the money can also define rules for its replacement in case the damage or destruction. For example, the US government will replace mutilated Federal Reserve notes, US fiat money, if at least half of the physical notes can be reconstructed, or if be otherwise proven to have been destroyed. By contrast, commodity money that has been lost or destroyed can be recovered. Demurrage. Demurrage currency, also known as depreciating money or stamp script, in its paper money form, is a type of money that is designed to gradually lose purchasing power at a constant rate. Demurrage money is often confused with inflation as they both cause money to lose value. Demurrage, also known as depreciating money or stamp coin, is a type of money that is designed to lose purchasing power to a constant rate. Demurrage money is often confused with inflation as they both cause money to lose value, but have significant different economic effects. Unlike normal money, demurrage is designed to be only a temporary store of value. Demurrage money functions primarily as a medium of exchange and a unit of account. Proponents of demurrage currency generally believe in the medium of exchange and store of value function of traditional money are antagonistic against each other. The German-Argentine economist Halvio Gessel advocates for demurrage currency as part of the free weight shaft economic system. The free weight shaft is an economic theory and proposal founded by the German-Argentine economist Silvio Gesell in his 1916 book, The Natural Economic Order. Some of the basic economic ideas of fair wages were also independently published in 1980 by the Hungarian-Australian. He referred to the marriage as frigide, free money, which frigide means free money. Free because it would be freed from holding an interest. Jessel theorized that free geld would increase the velocity of money, eliminate inflation, reduce unemployment, create an interest-free economy, and lead to fewer recessions. John Maynard Keynes wrote the idea behind timestamps, right? Money. John Maynard Keynes. John Maynard Keynes wrote the idea behind stamped money is sound, but he also criticized it. Demurrage money was used in ancient Egypt and in Europe during the High Middle Ages. It has been credited for the economic prosperity of those times. Shortly after Gesell's death, demurrage currency peaked in popularity due to the Great Depression as a series of emergency currency intended to reinvigorate the circular flow of income throughout the economy due to their faster circulation velocity. Despite their success, most demurrage currencies were banned by central banks for violating national monopolies of currency. As of 2026, there are only a handful of local demurrage currencies that are still used, with their Chemgar being most notable and widely used overall. The Chemgar is a regional currency in Prem am Chiemsee, Bavaria, Germany. So we call it Schirmcher. Schirmcher is a regional currency in Prien-Hamschitz, Bavaria, Germany. It was created by Christian Galleri in 203 and named after the Schirmgau, a religion around the Schemdes Lake. Galleri was inspired by the economics Solvio Hessel. The Schirmgau is intended to be being the most notable and widely used form of coinage. These factors led to the shift of their store value, being the metal itself. At silver first, then both silver and gold, and at one point there was a bronze as well. Now we all have copper coins and other non-precious metals coins. Metals are mined, weighed, and stamped into coins. This was to assure the individual taking the coin that he was getting a certain non-weight of precious metal. Coins could be counterfeited, but they also created a new unit of account which helped lead to banking. Archimedes' principle states that the upward buoyant force that is exerted on a body immersed in a fluid, whether fully or partially, is equal to the weight of the fluid that the body displaces. Archimedes' principle of law was physically fundamental to fluid mechanics. Archimedes principle. Archimedes, Archimedes, Archimedes principle. Archimedes principle provided the next link coins could now be easily tested for the fine weight of the metal, and thus the value of the coin would be determined, even if it had been shaved, debased, and otherwise tampered with. See, numismatics. Numismatics is the study or collection of currency, including coins, tokens, paper money, metals, and related objects. Experts of this study, known as numismatists, are often characterized as students or collectors of coins, but the principles also include the broader study of money and other measures. In major economics, using coinage, copper, silver, and gold form three tiers of coins. Gold coins were used for larger purchases, payment for the military, and backing of the state's activities. Silver coins were used for mid-sized transactions and as a unit of account for taxes, dues, contracts, and fealty, while copper coins represented the coinage of common transaction. This system had been used in ancient India since the time of Mahajana Padas. Mahajana Padas. Mahajana Pandars. Silver mining fell from minimum of 200 per annum during the Roman Empire to 50 tons per annum before the Industrial Revolution. Paper. In pre-modern China, the need for credit and for circulating a medium that was less of a burden than exchanging thousands of copper coins led to the introduction of paper money. This economic phenomenon was a slow and gradual process that took place from the late Tang Dynasty in 1618 to 907 in the Song Dynasty. It began as a means of merchants to exchange heavy coinage for receipt of deposit issued as promissory notes from shops of wholesalers, notes that were valid temporarily used in a small regional territory. In the 19th century, the Song Dynasty government began circulating these notes amongst the traders in the monopolized salt industry. The Song government granted several shops the sole right to use banknotes. And in the early 12,000, the government finally took over these shops to produce state-issued currency. Yet the banknotes issued were regionally valid and temporary. Still, it was not until the mid-13th century that a standard and uniform government issued of paper money was made into acceptable national-wide currency. The already widespread method of woodblock printing, which means that block printing is a technique for printing text, images, or patterns, usually wide throughout East Asia and originated in China in antiquity as a method of printing on textile and later on paper. Then, Picheng was a Chinese artisan and engineer during the Song Dynasty 1960. In the Song Dynasty 960 to 1279, who invented the world's first movable type. Bai's system used fired clay tiles, one for Chinese character, and was invented between 1930 and 1048, 1939 to and 9 and 1048. Printing was one of the four great inventions. At around the same time in the medieval Islamic world, a vigorous monetary economy was created during the 7th and the 12th centuries on the basis of the expanding level of circulation of a stable high currency. The dinar. The dinar is the name of the principal currency in several countries near the Mediterranean Sea. With a more widespread history use, the word dinar is the transliteration of the Arabic which was possibly borrowed by the Syriac dinara from the Latin denarius of the Arabic. Innovations introduced by economists, traders, and merchants of the Muslim world include the earliest use of credits, checks, savings accounts, transactional accounts, loaning, trust, exchange rates, the transfer of credit and debts, banking institution for loans and deposits. In Europe, paper money was first introduced in Sweden in 1661. Sweden was rich in copper, thus because of copper's low value, extraordinarily big coins often weighed several kg had to be made. The advantages of paper currency were numerous. It reduced transport of gold and silver and thus lowered the risk. It made loaning gold or silver interest easier, since the specie, gold or silver, never left the possession of the lender until someone else redeemed the note, and it lowered for division of currency into credit and specie-backed forms. It enabled the sale of stocks in joint stock companies, which a joint stock company or a JSC is a business entity in which shares of the company stock can be bought and sold by shareholders. Each shareholder owns company stock in proportions evidenced by their shares. Shareholders are able to transfer their shares to others without effects of the balance sheet, and the redemption of those shares in paper. A share is a unit of equity ownership in the capital stock of a corporation. It refers to units of mutual funds, limited partnerships, and real estate investment through trusts. Share capital refers to all the shares of an enterprise. The owner of the shares in a company is a shareholder of the corporation. However, these advantages are held within their disadvantages. First, since a note has no intrinsic value, there was nothing to stop issuing authorities from printing more of than they had specie back it with. Second, because it increased the money supply, it increased inflationary pressures, a fact observed by David Hume, who was a Scottish philosopher, historian, economist, and essayist who is known for his highly influential system of empiricism, philosophical skepticism, and metaphysical naturalism. The beginning, right? In the 18th century, the results of the paper money would often lead to an inflationary bubble, which could collapse if people began demanding hard money, causing the demand of paper notes to fall to zero. The printing of paper money was also associated with wars and financing of wars, and therefore regarded as part of maintaining a standing army. For reason, a standing money is a permanent, often professional army. It is composed of full-time soldiers who may be either career soldiers or conscripts. It differs from any reserves who are controlled for the long term but activated only during wars or natural disasters and temporary. For those reasons, paper currency was held in suspicion and hostility in Europe and America. It was also addictive since the speculative profits of value of trade and capital creation were quite large. Major nations established means to print money and mint coins, and branches of the treasury to collect taxes and hold gold and silver raw. A mint is an industrial facility which manufactures coins that can be used as currencies. At time At this time, both silver and gold were considered legal tender and accepted by the governments for taxes. However, the instability of the ratio in economics, the Gresham's law is a monetary policy stating that bad money drives out good. For example, if there are two coins in in circulation containing metal of different value, which are accepted by law as having similar face value, the more valuable coin based on the instability ratio. Okay, under Gresham's law, good money and bad money. Good money is money that allows neutral difference between its nominal value, the face value of the coin, and its melt value, the intrinsic value of metal item based solely on the market value of the metal of which it is made, often precious metals such as gold and silver. Right? Yeah. Okay, in economics, Gresham's law is a monetary principle stating that bad money drives out good. For example, if there are two coins in circulation containing metal of different value, which are accepted by law as having similar face value, the more valuable coin based on the inherent value of its component metal will gradually disappear from circulation. The law was named in 1857 by economists Henry Dunning MacLeod, who was a Scottish economist and lawyer, after Sir Thomas Gresham, an English financier during the Tudor dynasty. The House of Tudor was an English and Welsh dynasty that held the throne of England from 1485 to 1603. They descended ultimately from Endifine, Finchan, and the Tudor of Perthshire. Right? This is just the basics of me giving the history and shit, like for everything. Like I've come to realize, like once I do this, I improve like my speaking skills, right? I don't like to call it speaking skills, but because I have them and they are here now, okay. Gresham has had Queen Elizabeth to restore confidence in the debased English currency. The concept was thoroughly defined as Europe, Renaissance Europe by Copernicus. Nicholas Copernicus was a Renaissance polymath who formulated a model of the universe that placed the sun rather than Earth at its center. The publication of Copernicus' model in his book De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestis just before his death in 1543, and known centuries earlier in classical antiquity, Near East and China. Right? This is just the basics. By 1900, most of the industrializing nations were on some form of gold standard, with paper notes and silver coins consulting the circulating medium. Private banks and governments and across the world followed Gresham's law, keeping gold and silver paid but paying out in notes. This did nothing. This did not happen all around the world at the same time, but occurred sporadically, generally in times of wars and financial crises, beginning in the earliest part of the 20th century and continuing across the world until the late 20th century, when the regime of floating fiat currency came into force. One of the last current countries to break away from gold standard was the United States in 1971. No country anywhere in the world today has an enforceable gold standard or silver standard currency system. The silver standard is a monetary system in which the standard economy of the country of account is a fixed weight of silver. Silver was more widespread than gold as the monetary standard worldwide, from the Sumerian c. 3000 BC until 18, until 1873, commercial bank or demand deposits are claimed against financial institutions that can be used for the purchase of goods and services. A demand deposit account is that account from which can be withdrawn at any time by check or cash, whereby cash is money in the tangible form of currency such as banknotes and coins. Withdrawal without giving the bank or financial institution any prior notice. Banks have the legal obligation to return funds held in demand deposit immediately upon demand or at call. Demand deposit withdrawals can be performed in person via checks or bank draft, using automatic teller machines or through online banking. Commercial bank is created by commercial banks whose reserve held as cash and other quick liquid assets typically constitute of any fraction of their deposit, while banks maintain an obligation to redeem all these deposits upon demand, a practice known as fractional reserve banking. Commercial bank money differs from commodity and fiat money in two ways. Firstly, it is non-physical and its existence is only reflected in the account ledgers of bank and the other financial institution. And secondly, there is some element of risk that the claim will not be fulfilled if the financial institution becomes insolvent. The money multiplier theory represents the process of creating commercial bank money is a multiple greater than one of the amount of base money created by the country's central bank. The country itself being a function of the legal regulations of bank imposed by the financial regulators, e.g. for example, potential reserve requirements are central bank's regulations that set the minimal amount that a commercial bank must hold in liquid assets. The minimal assets commonly refers to as the commercial bank's reserve is generally determined by the central bank on the basis of specified portions of deposit liabilities. Besides the business policies of commercial banks, which again we say commercial bank is a financial activity institution that accepts deposit from the public and provides loan to its clients in order to make a profit. And the preferences of household factors which the central bank can influence but not control completely. Contemporary central banks generally do not control the creation of money, or do they try to, though their interest rate setting monetary policies naturally affect the amount of loans and deposits that commercial banks create. Digital or electronic. The development of computer technology in the second part of the 20th century allowed money of the represented digital allowed money. The development of computer technology in the second part of the 20th century allowed money to be represented digitally. By 1990, the United States all the money transferred between its central bank and commercial bank was in electronic form. By the 2000s, most money existed as digital currency in bank database. In 2012, the number of transactions, 20 to 58% of transactions were electronic, dependent on country. Anonymous digital currencies were developed in the early 2000s. Early examples include eCash, BitGold, RPOW, and B-Money. eCash was conceived by David Chaum as an anonymous cryptographic electronic money or electronic cash system in 1982. It was realized through his corporation DigiCash and used as micropayment system at one US bank from 1995 to 1998. BitGold. Nicholas Szabo is an American computer scientist, legal scholar, and cryptographer known for his research in smart contracts and digital currencies. RPOW and B-Money. B-Money, Wei Dai is a computer engineer known for contribution to cryptography and cryptocurrencies. He developed the Crypto++ cryptographic library, created the B-Money cryptocurrency system, and co-proposed the VMAC message authentication algorithm. In 2008, Bitcoin introduced the concept of decentralized borderless currency that requires no trusted third party. Instead, it relies on a distributed network of nodes running open source software to reinforce the system's rules and reach consensus, allowing it to operate without permission from banks or government. Monetary policies. When gold and silver were used as money, the money supply could grow only if the supply of metals was increased by mining. This rate, this rate will increase this rate will accelerate during periods of gold rushes and discoveries, such as when Columbus traveled to the New World and brought back gold and silver to Spain, or when gold was discovered in California in 1848. This caused inflation as the value of gold went down. However, if the rate of gold mining could not keep up with the growth of the economy, gold became relatively more valuable, and prices denominated in gold would drop, causing deflation. Deflation was the more typical situation over a century when gold and paper money backed by gold were used as money in the 18th and 19th century. The monetary systems are based on fiat money and are no longer tied to the value of gold. The amount of money in the economy is influenced by monetary policy, which is processed by which a central bank influences the economy to achieve specific goals. Often, the goal of monetary policies is to maintain low and stable inflation. Direction by an inflation targeting strategy directly, yeah? Inflation targeting strategy, or indirectly via fixed exchange rate system against a major currency with a stable inflation rate. In some cases, the central bank may pursue various supplementary goals. For example, it is clearly stated that in the Federal Reserve Act, whereby the Federal Reserve Act was passed by the 63rd United States Congress and signed into law by President Woodrow Wilson on December 23, 1913. The law created the Federal Reserve System, the central banking system of the United States that the Board of Governors and the Federal Open Market Committee should seek to promote effectively the goal of minimum employment, stable prices, and moderate long-term interest rates. A failed monetary policies can be significant detrimental effect can have significant detriment. A failed monetary policy can have significant detrimental effect of an economy and the society that depend on it. These include hyperinflation, stagflation, recession, high unemployment, shortage of imported goods, inability to export goods, and even total monetary collapse and the adoption of a much less effective barter economy. This happened in Russia, for instance, after the fall of the Soviet Union, right? Let's look at what is hyperinflation. In economics, hyperinflation is a very high and typically accelerating inflation. It quickly erodes the real value of local currency as the price of all goods increase. This causes people to minimize their holdings in that currency as they usually switch to more stable foreign currencies. Stagflation means, or stagflation is the combination of high inflation, stagnant economic growth, and elevated unemployment. The term stagflation, a portmanteau of stagnation and inflation, was popularized and probably coined by British politicians Lane MacLeod in the 1960s during a period of economic distress. Recession. In economics, a recession is a business cycle contraction that occurs when there is a period of broad decline in economic activities. Recession generally occurs when there is a widespread drop in spending. This may be triggered by various events such as financial crisis, external trade shock, right? The history of the Soviet Union in 1982 through 1991 spans the period from the Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev's death until the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Due to the years of Soviet military buildup at the expense of domestic development and complex Soviet system problems in the command economy. Monetary policies strategy have changed over time. Some used to conduct temporarily monetary policy include change of interest rates at which central bank loans money to or borrows money from the commercial bank. Open market operation including currency purchases or sale, forward guidance like publishing forecasts to communicate the likely future course of monetary policies, raising or lowering reserve requirements. Reserve requirements are central bank regulation that set the minimum amount that a commercial bank must hold in liquid assets. The minimum amount, commonly referred to as the common of the commercial bank reserve, is generally determined as the central bank on the basis of specified proportion of deposit liabilities. In the US, the Federal Reserve, whereby the Federal Reserve System is the central bank system of the United States. It was created on December 23rd, 1913, with the enactment of Federal Reserve Act after a series of financial panics led to the desire for central control of the monetary system in order to elevate financial crisis. The Eurozone, the Eurozone area, or the EA, commonly called the Eurozone EZ, is a currency union of the 21 member states of the European Union (EU) after that have adopted the euro as their primary currency and sole legal tender and have thus fully implemented economy and monetary union policies. During the 1970s and the 80s, monetary policies in several countries was influenced by an economic theory known as monetarism. Monetarism that monetarism argued that management of the money supply should be the primary means of regulating economic activities. The stability of the demand for money prior to the 1980s was a key finding in Milton Friedman and Anna Schwartz, supported by the work of David Laidler, and many others. It turned out, however, that maintaining a monetary policy strategy of targeting money supply did not work very well. The relation between money growth and inflation was not tight as expected by monetarist theory, and the short-run relation between the money supply and the interest rate which is the chief instrument through which the instrument bank can influence outcome, and inflation was unreliable. Both problems were due to unpredictable shifts in the demand of money. Consequently, starting in the early 90s, a fundamental reorientation took place in most major central banks, starting to target inflation directly instead of the money supply and using the interest rate as their main instrument. Proposals from monies Proposals for monetary system changes, monetary reform, right? There are so many things here that are concerning money. So now let's come to locality. The definition of money says it is money only in particular country or socio-economic context. In general, communities only use a single measure of money, which can be identified as in the prices of goods listed for sale. There might be multiple media of exchange which can be observed by what is given to purchase goods, medium of exchange, etc. In most countries, government acts to encourage a particular forms of money, such as requiring for taxes and punishing fraud. Some places do not maintain two or more currencies, particularly in border towns or high travel areas. Shops in these locations might list prices and accept payment in multiple currencies. Otherwise, foreign currency is treated as financial assets, and in local market, foreign currencies is commonly bought or sold on foreign exchange markets by travelers or traders. Communities can change the money they use, which is known as currency substitution. They can happen intentionally when a government issues a new currency. For example, when Brazil moved to the Brazilian Cruzeiro to the Brazilian real. It can also happen spontaneously when the people refuse to accept a currency experiencing hyperinflation, even if its use is encouraged by the government. The money used by community can change on a smaller scale. This can this come through innovation, such as adoption of checks. Gresham's law says that burn money drives out good. That is, when buying a good, a person is more likely to pass on less desirable items that qualify as money and hold on to more valuable ones. When buying a good, a person is likely to pass on less desirable items that qualify as money and hold on to more valuable ones. For example, coins with less silver in them, but which are still valid coins, are more likely to circulate in the economy. This might effectively change the money used by the community. Right? It's just the basics of money. The money used by a community does not have to be a currency issued by a government. Famous example of community adopting new forms of money is prisoners' war using cigarettes to trade. Counterfeiting, financial crimes. Like for the financial crimes, we have the counterfeiting, right? Counterfeit money is imitations currency produced without the legal sanction of the state or government. Producing or using counterfeit money is a form of fraud or forgery. Counterfeiting is almost as old as money itself. Plated copies known as fories have been found in Lydian coins, which are thought to be among the first Western coins. Fories is a coin, usually counterfeit, that is made from a base metal coin that has been plated with a precious metal or alloy that look like its solid metal counterpart. The term is derived from the French word for stuffed. Most foreigns had a base metal of bronze plated with silver and gold. Lydian coins, whereby Lydia was an Iron Age kingdom situated in western Anatolia in modern-day Turkey. Later, it became an important province of the Achaemenid Empire and then the Roman Empire. Its capital was Sardis. Historically, objects that were difficult in counterfeit, like shells, rare stones, precious metals, were often chosen as money. Before the introduction of paper money, the most prevalent method of counterfeiting involved mixing base metal with pure gold or silver. A form of counterfeit is the production of documents by legitimate printers in response to fraudulent instructions. During World War II, the Nazis forged British pounds and American dollars. By this, the Nazism, 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 also known as National Socialism, is the far-right ultranationalist, totalitarian ideology associated with Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party, NSDAP. It emerged in Germany during Hitler's rise to power and was frequently called Hitlerism, right? World War II, or the Second World War, was a global conflict between two coalitions, the Allies and the Axis power. Nearly all the world's countries participated, with many engaging in total war on an unprecedented scale. The World War II was the deadliest conflict in history, causing deaths of 60 to unlimited numbers that were never recorded in modern-day philosophy or artwork. Today, some of the finest counterfeit banknotes are called super dollars, right? A super dollar is a very high-quality counterfeit version of a United States $100 bill, alleged by the US government to have been made a non-organization or government. In 2011, government sources stated that these were counterfeit bills in worldwide circulate because they are high quality and likeness to real US dollar. There has been significant counterfeit in Europe banknotes and coins since the launch of the currency in 2002, but considerably less than the US dollar. Money laundering. Money laundering is the process in which the proceeds of crime are transformed into ostensibly legitimate money or other assets. However, in several legal and regulatory systems, the term money laundering has become conflicted with other forms of financial crimes and sometimes used more generally to include misuse of financial system involving things such as security, digital currencies, credit cards, and traditional currency, including terrorism financing, tax evasion, and evading of national sanctions. Conflation is the merging of two or more sets of information, text, ideas, or opinions into one, often in error. Conflation is defined as fusing, blending, but is often used colloquially as being equal to, treating two similar but this disparate concept as the same. Merriam-Webster suggested this shift is in usage, right? Yeah. So now there are so many things to learn about money, which makes it a great topic for today that I had to cover it in the most craziest, the most funniest, the best way possible that I had to do it. Yeah. So I mean that's like the basics of like me learning like the concept of money without like me actually needing to put in any work or like try to sugarcoat anything that is happening right now, because that's what I do right now. Like if I'm planning to do something, if I'm planning to record a live, right? You see me, right? I have no idea of whatever I'm going to say or like what the actual live is supposed to be. So I just get in there with no information, raw as fuck. And now what happens? Like I tell AI like to generate me from the topic. I tell it to generate me from the topic ideas. I tell it to give me the information. I tell it to lead me to where I will research about the information. And I tell it to actually now provide me with the information so that now I can now direct it and structure and design it to however I want myself to deliver it in the best way that I know, the best way possible, only for me and me only, without requiring anybody else in the mix, which is a bit crazy concept right now, right? Because as I said, like in this shit, you just need like to go all hard, but still like taking care of yourself, right? You've seen me like take a few drinks of water in the process, but it's not like now this is the biggest thing that is now there, right? But as long as I'm doing it, it'll always be the biggest thing ever. So yeah, that is the basics now, right? And now, as I've seen now, even the camera is telling me, hey, now this thing now that you are doing here is supposed to come to an end, because we are also tired and we are machines, right? So who am I not to be tired too? So this is the last part of the video. Like if you enjoyed it, make sure you like, you subscribe, you share, you do everything. Then you hit that bell, do everything that you can for this to grow the community and for this one to be bigger. That one is a bit of a professional outro, but yeah, that's it, man.